Hello and welcome to the Chinese Cartoon Podcast. We're a podcast all about anime, which is from Japan and not China. But hey, the name totally makes sense. Just to warn you before we start, we had technical issues. Someone's recording got mucked up, and also we had issues with people's recordings not being the same length and stuff, so things do sound a bit choppy at times. Also, I noise gated a bit hard at one point, and didn't realise till halfway through, so it does sound a bit weird at times. Bear with us. Episode 2 should be much nicer, sound much better. This is what you get when someone's never done audio stuff before. But enjoy the show, hopefully. You probably want to know who I am. I'm your host, for today anyway, Dave, known as BabyDave371 on Reddit. I like old shows and giant robot shows, which means I share no one else's opinions, yay. That's great fun for me. Time to introduce the rest of the gang, I suppose. The first of my co-hosts is sitting on my left, it's Dr. Faust.
Hello, I am Dr. Faust, called Faust, Doctor, and on Reddit, XAir404X, username from a part of my life I don't like thinking about.
Your chuny phase.
Okay.
Yep.
Johnny boy!
Basically.
And on my right is Mr. Flame.
It's Malaka Strike a Flame. Similar to Waka Flocka Flame, but with crabs. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
Seated beneath my thighs, or between my thighs even, is Owen Wright.
Hello. I'm alright. I'm going to be going by Al, because it's easier. And also, alright is dreadful to say, because people say it all the time. Yeah. I'm a dude.
Alright then. But I couldn't help it, sorry. And massaging me from behind is Mr. Ringo.
I'm Ringo.
Okay, that was short and sweet. Right, today, because we're starting off, we're gonna do a few lovely ladies, gentlemen, and whatever you are in between. We're gonna do our top 5 anime series of all time. Our favourite ones, not our top rated. That's another podcast if we ever want to do that.
Ooh, yeah.
Just so you can get to know us and we can better get to know each other's tastes. Let's start from the bottom of the list. Ringo, what's your number 5?
So, like, my number 3 through 5 is sort of easy to, like, figure out. But number 1 and 2 are so incredibly tough to differentiate. But number 5, I think a lot of people probably have this on their list. Hunter x Hunter, 2011.
Ooh, good choice.
Yeah. I just haven't seen a shonen that grabs me as well as that show. I always thought the pacing was like really good in it, except for that one arc that kind of dragged on forever.
I honestly couldn't get through the first arc of it.
No.
Hunter x Hunter was interesting for me. Yeah, it was definitely one of the shows. It was one of the first couple shows that like got me into 100+ episode stuff. For like a couple years when I started getting into anime, I swore by the like 1 or 2 core series, but Hunter x Hunter was one of the first big binges that got me into the real long stuff.
Yeah, just think the character development's great. I really like the dialogue. It seems like they don't take you like a baby. They treat you like a real audience member. And it's got an awesome fighting system that gets introduced later on.
The power system's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just awesome.
Fair. I think that's pretty much what you want. Let's go up the list. Then, Al, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is my number 5 is an interesting spot because my top 4 are pretty concrete. Well, top 3 plus kind of 4. But 5 is just like whatever I'm feeling that day out of my bottom 5. But for this list, I decided to go with K-On! Because I love it.
Are you digi, bro?
Yes. No.
Do you want to shag little girl? Because that's what it's for.
Not quite. I don't think I. Yeah, no. I like K-On! A lot because it's adorable. Fun things are fun. Let's see. I really like how it kind of builds on itself. It starts off. Well, the first season is not as strong as the rest of the show, but I think it sets up a precedent that the second season and movie kind of build on. I think that the Five Girls friendship is really really well developed. There's a lot of little moments, like subtleties, that kind of make it easier to sell that they're friends, and it's not just like kind of a fake moe thing. It feels more genuine than a lot of the other shows of the genre, I think. And Ritsu's the best, so.
It also does that magical thing where it does better than the source by a long shot.
That's true. Yeah, that's another thing that's really neat about it.
Yeah, I can't see moe working as a manga. I'm sorry.
Well, a lot of cute girls moe shows start off as 4 comas, which is a lot different.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see
like,
that.
Azumanga Daioh is another one of my favorites, and that's the manga is really funny just because it's like a short gag thing, like funny setups and then just stupid punchlines.
I was gonna say there's a pretty good Flash game about that anime series.
Is it safe for work?
No.
Isn't it?
Oh no! Not my moe girls, please. Yeah, I'm good with my number 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Flame, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Amagami SS.
Ooh.
Yeah. Shout out to Amethyst Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she likes that. What's that new show that came out? That's basically that show.
Saren.
Ugh, that show sucks.
I like the last arc of it. It was pretty good. The rest of it wasn't so much.
Never
watched it.
Don't you know the 3-episode then drop rule?
Yeah, come on. You have to drop everything in 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Or if you're some people, never drop things.
Ugh. That's a subject for another podcast. Mentally ill people.
Okay, so tell us why I is best girl.
Because she takes control of the situation. She's awesome. She acts like a fucking adult. She doesn't...
That's a rarity.
Especially considering she's like 15. I liked stuff with her brother. That was nice.
Really? Stuff with brother? Mm.
Not that kind of stuff with
Yeah,
brother.
matron.
Incest
He's
is
a little
wincest.
boy. I know that doesn't matter.
That doesn't
so
make
much
a difference.
in anime. Yeah. So
Probably makes it more likely.
yeah, I love the omnibus format of it. I like, you get to see a bunch of pretty good little romances on a row there, and they're all different. Like Size it's like a rom-com with a silly narrator and death by moe, and you have like Kaoru's, who is it's about like her and her mom and her discovering her feelings for her best friend, and it casts a wide net.
So which one's the one with the deer?
That is the end of the Eye arc,
Okay.
where they have outdoor beast watch sex in the hot spring.
Ah, okay.
What? I haven't seen this
Yeah,
show, and it
I haven't
sounds...
seen Amagami either.
It sounds like things I've read, but no. So is it like the same guy every time, or what?
Yeah, it's the same guy. It kind of resets the universe
Yeah,
at the beginning
like
of every arc.
It's like a visual novel format.
Yes.
Each arc adapts what you would air quotes be a root of a visual novel. So,
Okay, so it's a bit like God Only Knows sort of thing,
Yeah.
where everyone
Yes.
kind of resets.
The World God Only Knows was one of my first anime, so
all right.
yeah,
Starts off badly. Joking.
gets better.
I think I watched like the first 3 episodes and went, no.
Because that's the one where the guy's like a master of romance games and gets sent into another world or something.
Yeah, he's played all the
Ah.
VNs.
He's a VN boy.
It's kind of creepy. It's like, get the neckbeard to be the stud muffin. Oh, I could do it. Whee! Okay, are you happy with that? Said your things.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, Faust, what's your number 5?
Alright, my number 5 was actually kind of a hard one. I ended up switching it out like 4 or 5 different times. First it was Macross F, then it was Gurren Lagann, then it was Getarobo Armageddon, but
Oh, great
I think,
show.
yes, but I finally settled on Mobile Suit Gundam 8th MST.
Strong choice.
Yeah, I would agree with that. First of all, I really just think it has some of the best mech designs in the entire Gundam everything. Like, they look like goddamn tanks on legs. Like, they're actually freaking, like, robots that would go to war and shoot you. And they're badass. And yeah, and also it has one of the best mecha fight scenes, honestly. This is spoilers. Yeah, I figured spoilers,
so good.
but it's Norse Packard versus basically the entire team, and he just utterly fucking decimates everyone.
I love this.
And I think it's called a Goof Custom, something like that.
It's always a custom. They got to sell more Gunpla.
Yeah.
It's always got to be a new kit.
Like, I think they meant to milk the main suit of the series for like 4 or 5 different kits.
I think we're on our 3rd MG right now.
Oh, really?
Oh wait, no, because there's an Origin one. I think there's 3 versions of the standard one.
Oh yeah, because
there's an Origin one.
There's the local type. There's, I think now, the space type.
Oh no, they're GMs.
No, they're ground type. Or no,
they're ground Gundams, but ground Gundams are GM. This is getting way too nerdy. Talk about the show.
Also, I just think it has like really solid character development. Like throughout the whole show, you get like Shiro growing as a character and like sort of slowly growing into his own ideals instead of just sticking blindly to the Federations. You have Michael's breakdown into alcoholism by the end of the show, which is fantastic because I really don't like him. And then you've got like stuff like Aina coming out of her shell and out from under the Space AIDS guy.
His name's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, he's got like the fabulous hair, Space AIDS, whatever you want to call him. Is it like something like Gineas?
Yeah, Giannis? Anyway, that's the guy in the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah. Whatever her older brother's name is, like...
It's a Gundam name, they're impronounceable, they're all stupid. This guy called Neem Interne.
Yeah, I mean, there's... Char and Zeta's called, like, Quattro Vagina or something like that.
Quattro Vagina, we'll be getting to
that. Vagina. Oh, is that on your list?
Oh, of course it is.
Ah, of course. And then stuff like how it actually does bother showing that most of the people, like, just actually fighting the war aren't awful. Like, the sides aren't full of, why can't I remember his name? He's one of the...
It's not like that operatic villain.
Yeah, no, it's not... Well, I mean...
It's not Scirocco.
I mean, Gineas, but, like, most of the...
There's big bad's always bad, but that's... Yeah, the side stories always do a good job of that. Like, 0080 and 083.
Yeah.
Like, most of the people are just normal dudes.
Like, I like the... like, second in command of the Xeon probably more than I like a lot of the Federation guys.
What, Packard?
Well, Packard, and also the one that really pisses off Space AIDS.
Oh, yeah, the guy, the other general.
Okay, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't know any of them. Yeah, stupid names.
Again, they're all stupid. I mean, it's a Gundam like tradition to name people ridiculous things.
Well, it comes from Tamino. I mean, Tamino's infamous for being a crazy person. Did you watch the dub or the sub?
No, I watched the sub.
Yeah. Because I've watched both, and the dub cuts out a lot of the kind of slight romance between Karen and what's his name, Mr. Band guy. The music. Yeah,
I know who you're talking about. I just can't remember his name.
Like the sub has like a slight romance, then the dub completely cuts that. Interestingly.
Well, speaking of romance, also I was going to say that the development of the romance between Aina and Shiro is also probably one of my favorite parts of the series.
Although it's a bit weird at the beginning when they're like, I'm going to shoot you. Oh, I kind of like you now. Because you put a band-aid on me.
I mean, it sort of does go back to the thing I said before. Like, it shows that not everyone on opposite sides has to be enemies. So that's kind of a common thing.
Yeah, like the big bad's usually the dickhead. Like, Giran is basically Hitler.
Yeah.
Giran Zabi Zabi's like the worst guy ever.
Giran thinks it's a compliment to be compared to Hitler.
His father said, "Oh, you're a bit like Hitler." After he killed about for like 4 billion people by gassing colonies and dropping them on Earth. He wasn't pleasant.
But yeah, that's it, I think.
Romeo and Juliet, set in Vietnam with giant robots. My number 5 is another robot show, surprisingly. Get used to this. They may all be good robot shows. I may have a problem. Macross Plus. It's the first proper sequel to SDF Macross. And that was... Because this came out in the early 90s, I think 92 or something. It might even be for the 10-year anniversary of the original, which came out in 1982. 4 episodes, 40 minutes long. Co-directed by Shoji Kawamori, who did Macross and Escaflowne, and then proceeded to go insane. Aquarion. Have you seen Aquarion? It's batshit nuts. And Shinichiro Watanabe, terrible pronunciations, of Bebop, Dandy, and Shampoo fame. Yeah, it's a weird one because it's a love triangle, but about 10 years later, and they haven't really solved anything out.
Right.
So it's got that kind of melancholy 90s feel. It's got amazing animation because it's had... Okay, this is for a lineup of animators. Ichiro Tano, Hideki Anno, and Koji Morimoto.
That'll do it.
Yeah, it looks really pretty. That's what I'm going to say. And has some really crazy, trippy concepts because it's got an AI idol. Because why not?
It was predicting Vocaloids like 30 years before that happened?
Well, Megazone 2-3 beat it with... what's Megazone 3? I forget what Megazone 2-3's idol is called, but they had that back in 83. Knowledge of OVAs. Go watch Megazone 2-3, it's great. Just don't watch part 3 because it's shit and doesn't make any sense and isn't related. Anyway, yeah. So you've got these kind of crazy, trippy 90s, we're all on like ecstasy concert sequences. And it's got this great soundtrack by Yoko Kanno. She's basically she's given money and told to go do whatever she wants. She's got this trippy electronic soundtrack. It's great. I really like the mecha designer because they actually went out to an airbase in America somewhere, and one of the planes is based on the fighter, the YF something. Yeah, and because they're insane, they need to make model kits, and people who buy model kits and watch it aren't necessarily the same people. So the model kits are like super like this could actually be a thing. Please, can we have transforming robots at some point? Yeah, so I like that. I don't know. In English, actually, interestingly, the English dub, the main character, played by Bryan Cranston.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, because he used to do a bit of voice work, and it's under a different name, but he's fantastic. The dub, I would say, watch the dub. They did have to replace the music in one of the scenes near the end, but you won't notice at all. It's fantastic, and
well, I'm gonna notice it now.
yeah, no, you won't. And of course, because I've pretty much said all about this, I want to say. Apart from the fact, anytime you say anything about Macross, fuck you, Harmony Gold.
Goddamn, fuck Harmony Gold. Though, isn't Macross Plus is, I think, the one Macross series that actually got released.
Yeah, I've got the DVD of it, but I don't... But there hasn't been a Blu-ray release, so I don't know what's happening with that. I think
probably
they managed to slip that one under the radar.
Well, no, because it got...
Yeah, because I've got DVD from like 2002.
Because it got professionally dubbed, though, so I don't really see how you could slip that under the radar.
Well, I think they're still in the stage whereby Harmony Gold is maybe working with them.
I've been meaning to watch Plus for about ever. Probably ever. Since I discovered Watanabe, I was like, wow, I need to watch this. And, yeah, so...
Okay. Yeah, number 4. Flame, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Shirobako.
Are you Digi, bro?
I might be.
Are you wearing silly glasses?
No.
No, you're not Digibro.
I also kind of like Sword Art Online, so...
That's not a problem.
I think that kind of disqualifies me.
The doujins are good, that's all I'm saying.
Glop, glop.
Correct.
We're saving the porn for episode 2. So, I don't particularly care for, like, sports sort of shows. Or shows about hobbies, stuff like that. Because I can never really understand why they're so obsessed with the thing that the show's about. Like in Haikyuu, I don't fucking get why Hinata's just all about that volleyball.
So what you're saying is you're lazy.
But I'm not lazy. I get out a lot. I'm just like
Just
that
no
seems to
commitment.
be the only thing in their lives in shows like that. But in Shirobako, I don't know jack shit about animation or making anime or anything, but I understood why they liked it so much, and I really enjoyed it's a bit of an idealistic look, but it still has some of the bad stuff, like Emma being just living in Po Town.
Yeah, but they can afford clothes, so it's not realistic.
Yeah.
Well,
They aren't eating off the floor.
I think some of them did.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Shirobako is interesting because I like how it's kind of like a guided tour through the anime industry with rose-colored glasses on, which is cool. It definitely isn't faithful to some of the more negative aspects, but a lot of the stuff is really cool. Like you get an episode where the what's the main character's name?
Miyamori.
Sorry. Yeah, where Miyamori goes to the sound guy. I thought that was really cool. That was probably one of my favorite parts. She has to go get a sound clip for something, and this guy's like the master of sounds. He's like, hold this and we'll record it and make a sound effect. But a lot of the little touches like that I thought were really neat.
I like the way it handled the comedy in it too. Like it didn't
Yeah, for sure.
force anything sort of. Well, it had crazy stuff in it, but it wasn't. It didn't go out of its way to force it in there for laughs.
One of my favorite scenes in anime is the opening scene of Shirobako. The initial D reference.
I haven't seen it, but all I know about that show is there's an initial D reference, and it's great. Although there aren't enough ugly character designs for it to be a proper initial D reference. Worms for mouths.
Yeah.
About the idealism, it is idealistic, but I like that. I'm not a big fan of cynicism.
If it was super cynical and negative, it would have been.
Yeah. It would have been. It would have lost its charm if it was really cynical.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it comes across as genuine, as the people who you could tell the people who made it cared about anime and wanted to making anime look fun.
Yeah.
Or it's great propaganda to try and get more animators because they're running out of people because everyone working is about 60 years old and about to die. If you like that, you should, if you haven't seen it, check out, I think it's Animation Runner Kuromi. It's, there's 2 OVAs, but it's sort of a similar thing.
I've heard about that.
It's really funny, and it's clearly there are actual people in the industry that every character's based on, and it's quite easy to figure out, and it's like completely ripping into them.
That's another thing I liked about Shirobako is all of the industry people cameos. Being able to be like holy shit, there's Masao Maruyama making stew.
I like the guy from Bones, I think it was.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's dressed up in a baseball outfit, which for no reason. I don't even understand that.
And I liked how they just didn't even bother to change Ano's name that much.
It must be, yeah. And then Ano is just there, yeah. He just steps in like Jesus and extends his finger. He's got in the scene in the background. He has a gigantic like model battleship, like in his living room. Very funny.
Oh, I thought you were about to say it's like just stacks of Ava 4.0 discs that he's just holding. Them. It's been made for years and he just doesn't want to get it out.
Yeah, Shirobako is great though.
Okay.
I'm done.
Ringo, what's your number 4?
I'm Ringo. So I know we said series were okay, and this one is a pretty long series. But my number 4 is the Monogatari series.
Really?
And if I had to pick one, if you were gonna pull my arms behind my back and force me to pick one, I'd probably pick the first season.
Oh, Bake? All right, solid.
Yeah. But yeah, I just love how they almost turn dialogue into a weapon. Like, there's a lot of scenes in, like, really any of the seasons where, like, the dialogue is, like, literally the confrontation. And they make it, I guess, through, like, how they shoot the shots and the actual dialogue and how the voice actors are coming across. It's just, like, really intense. And, like, that's something I haven't really seen in any other episode. any other series.
Yeah, I think Monogatari is really cool because they use all sorts of quirky directing, voice acting, and visual tricks to make just two people talking into some of the most engaging anime out there. Super cool.
Yeah, that's the big problem I have with a lot of anime is it's just manga panels, people talking, and that doesn't really work as animation. I mean, I haven't seen the series, but from what I've seen of it, they do a great job of using cinematography to actually make things interesting visually, and not just orally.
The Shaft looked, I guess, in general, it's just so appealing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically that one director, whose name I also can't remember.
Shinbo?
That really,
Shinbo.
Yeah, probably Shinbo. Shinbo did the first season, and then I think he just worked on Kizu, didn't
the
he?
interesting thing about Shinbo is he's credited as directing like everything Shaft does, but it's uncertain if how much he actually does, or like how much input he has, and who's doing the stuff. I don't know.
Are you sure he's a real person and it's not just like that name Sunrise has that represents studios they get to
No,
keep?
I'd imagine that he is an actual person, but
Okay.
I'd imagine he just like
I forget what name is that for Sunrise.
I don't know. Shinbo's a wacky guy.
He comes by randomly and says, "Put a head tilt there. Put a head tilt there."
Break the neck.
He just looks over the storyboards, rips them up, and then says, "We need more head tilts."
But yeah, just everything about the sound, like music and voice acting. I don't know what the voice actor's name is for Agaragi, but he is just so good.
It is, Hiroshi
Kamiya.
Kamiya, something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I hear his voice, I'm like, it's gonna be a good series. Even if it's bad, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I like him in a lot of his voice work. Go ahead.
As a closing statement, it also gave me a toothbrush.
Oh,
fetish.
for fuck's sake.
God, toothbrushes. All I hear is toothbrushes and head tilts.
Could you not bring up Nisei?
It's good.
Because
Best 8th episode.
no, worse. That whole series is the low point of Monogatari.
So, Ringo, let me ask you, what's your favorite arc then?
Out of everything?
I don't know, or your favorite character maybe?
My favorite character is Karen, for sure.
Nice.
Karen. I like Karen. She's like a really strong-willed person, and see some subtle changes in her personality throughout the series.
Yeah, she doesn't pop up too much in the later stuff, but
Yeah, I mean that's just kind of the nature of the show. I mean it's just like this season we're gonna focus on these girls. Okay, this season we're gonna focus on these girls.
It's almost like it's there to sell figures or something.
Almost. Monogatari has the best figures too, so.
Does it though? High School DxD is the best
boy.
figures. On High School DxD, toothbrush scene or the finger sucking scene from High School DxD, which is
Toothbrush.
I don't know.
Really?
I'm a known defender of the toothbrush scene because it's really interesting from a storytelling and directing perspective. But
story.
No,
Yeah.
I could get into it, but I'll save that rant for another day.
It makes sense given the situation that family lives in.
A very screwed up one.
Yeah, you know, parents away and.
The kids will play.
But yeah, there's that's number 4.
Cool. I shall go next.
All right, go for it.
Because I want to. Number 4 is Aim for the Top Gunbuster.
Oh, that's a great one.
Notice Hideki Anno again and giant robots.
Are you demo?
I'm not demo. I would love to be. I would love to be in demo, quite frankly.
Oh.
Right inside of him. Yeah. So this was Gainax's kind of first major production after their Royal Space Force debut, where Bandai said, "You've done Datuk Daikon animations. Go make us a multi-million-dollar film." Because the 80s, and they had ridiculous money.
And money to hand everyone.
So yeah, this was Hideki Anno's directorial debut, even though it was actually written by like 4 or 5 people at Gainax. It's weird because it started off as a parody for Aim of the Ace, this like 70s shoujo series by Dazaki, and then it went, giant robots.
Never mind. We're gonna do this.
Yeah, it's also interesting just from like a view of It's kind of like a proto-Ava in many ways.
Yeah,
you can very much see
Yeah.
how it would grow into that, although it's still not Anna going, he's still very much, it's the 80s, we're all on cocaine, let's get this crazy. I mean, there's homing lasers, there's finger missiles, there's a cape that can protect you from lasers, there's giant robot Inazuma kicks. It's great. It's silly, but it's also really heartfelt. I do have a few problems with it. I think the guy, I forget his name is,
Coach.
is
No?
no, not Coach.
Yeah, not
Coach
Coach.
is amazing.
Alright.
Voiced by Norio Wakamoto, of course. So
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous. But the blonde dude
Oh, yeah,
who
what
stuff
was his
happens to.
name?
Oh, this is my problem. He's not in it enough. I think he should have been introduced at the same time as Russian
Yeah.
chick. So you'd actually get to know him and care about what happens to him in a way that you don't really.
Wait, you're talking about the one that Noriko like crushes on, basically?
Yeah, him.
Okay.
Because he's introduced in episode 3, I think, and then disappears at the end of episode 3.
Doesn't he die?
Yes, he does. I was trying to avoid saying that.
I mean, I figure spoilers are given for everything in this.
Yeah, well, you know, people complain because they're arseholes. Yeah, he gets killed. Although it's really interesting because she never sees it. It's when she actually fights in that battle, it's very much she has no idea what's going on because in space everything moves super quick. There's no points of reference, so that's actually a really interesting battle of what a space battle might realistically seem like. Side note. I really like how it plays with relativity. Obviously, it's a bit silly and exaggerated. My words, I can't speak. Exaggerated, but those scenes when she goes back to Earth and sees her friends all grown up and has children, and Noriko's still 15, 16, or when Amano comes at the end, her senpai, and she's all grown up, she's in her 30s, 40s, but Noriko's still that age.
Yeah.
I think that works really well. And then that last episode being in black and white, which cost them a ton, because they were animating a colour film, but in black and white, which is actually really expensive, which is why that kind of final scene, episode has some worse animation. Because it was more expensive to actually make it black and white. But when that colour hits at the end, I cry every time, every single time. It's like I have a little GIF or whatever video of it saved, just like play it. This is really good. I'd probably watch this series again. Sadly, it hasn't been released in ages. There's no Blu-ray or anything of it in the US
Really? I
or
thought
UK.
there was a
sadly.
Blu-ray somewhere.
There might be of the film, but not the series, because they did a film
okay.
compilation when they released Die Buster, or sometime after Die Buster, and they made a film of Die Buster as well. Die Buster is also great, but very different.
Super different, but
And I don't think it's as good. I think there are more issues there. Although I do like how it kind of says, "Oh wait, this is the same universe as FLCL. Go figure that one out."
Yeah.
guys." Yeah, it has great music as well. I want to point out the music, 'cause the music is amazing. It's actually by the same guy who did the first JoJo's theme,
Oh, really?
Chino Sadamo. Which makes a lot of sense once you think about it.
I thought we can go this podcast without doing a JoJo reference.
oh
Good
no,
JoJo
Yeah,
reference.
always gotta have a JoJo reference.
Because everything's a JoJo's reference. Apart from Bow. JoJo's is a Bow reference, that's all I'm saying. That's a deep cut. If you've seen Bow, I love you.
I have no idea what that is.
It's it was the manga Araki did before JoJo's,
Oh, alright.
and it has one of the best OVAs ever. It's just
I remember
ridiculous nonsense.
reading your OVA post for that one.
Yeah, it's just guy does stuff. Oh wait, now he's a monster, and there's a Native American who's, if his headband comes off, he's a psychic maniac. The 80s. Yes, that's me done, because Gunbuster's great.
Yes, it is.
Up next, let's have Mr. Faust.
Alright, also a Gainax show, and production IG as well. Fooly Cooly.
All right.
Are you demo?
No, I'm not demo.
Are we all demo?
But no, yeah, I mean, Fooly Cooly it's just, like, amazingly off the walls. Awesome. And it also has the best goddamn soundtrack in all of anime, and I will fight you if you say otherwise.
No, that's bullshit. We're going to talk about the best soundtrack
Can't
later.
overstate how good the pillows
They're great, but they're not the best.
Fight me IRL.
are. Certain wars.
I can. I will get played
Alright,
up to Scotland.
I will bring my saber.
I don't know if we're gonna get to the what we watched recently segment, but I rewatched episode 4 of FLCL a couple days ago. One of my favorite anime episodes. Period. Got to swing the bat. That scene's so good. I really like the Fully Cooley's dub. I know it's kind of a contentious issue.
Really?
Well, I don't know.
I thought it was really close to the Japanese. And it's
I've
really
heard it's
relaxed.
faithful, but I've honestly never watched it subbed. So
Yeah, but people hate dubs
I
anyway.
mean,
'cause
some
they're
dubs just are worse.
yeah,
but sometimes that makes them better.
The Fully Cooley dub is pretty faithful,
Yeah.
but it has some of the best localization I've ever seen in it. Like it'll change some like obscure Japanese,
yeah,
like
that's right. yeah.
outdated Japanese drink to Crystal Pepsi.
Yeah, no, that's a
Yeah.
really good dub. No wonder it
Yeah.
became a big thing in America. We don't get anime in England, so it didn't become big.
Yeah, Tsunabe aired
Oh,
it for a fairly significant length of time, didn't they?
Well, yeah, it always did better over here than it did in Japan.
But was in Hot Topic because
That's
that's
true.
the
Hot
big,
Topic is the signifier of good anime.
that's why Death Note's in there. Fuck Death Note. Get to that. We'll get to our unpopular opinions thread later. That'll be another
It's the
podcast.
Salt Cast.
Yeah,
Uh,
FLCL is fantastic. I think it does something that another anime I had been considering putting on here, Paranoia Agent, doesn't do quite so well in that the episodes manage
Very
to
good show, too.
Yeah.
like feel different and not really connected to the last one, but it still feels like one cohesive story.
Yeah, they are self-contained, or they tell a story in and of themselves, but also
Yeah.
contribute something to the overall narrative.
Well, the one I'd compare it to actually is what was it? Blood Blockade Battlefront, and it seems like a lot of nonsense. But when you actually look at it, like if you just watch it, half watching it, you're like, what the fuck is even happening? What's he up here? Why is there a robot with wings and there's fire? But if you actually like sit down and watch it seriously, it's like, okay, wait, this makes a lot of sense. A lot of this is symbolic. And if you take the time to dissect it properly, it's actually quite thematically deep and
Yeah.
interesting. And it does a great job doing that. Also, the animation's amazing. Just gonna put that there.
Holds up really well.
I really like FLCL. Well, a lot of Gainax shows do this. They reference nearly everything. I think it might be episode 3, but they put Haruko in the bunny outfit and have her do the Daikon 4 thing, the rewatch.
It's kind of sad that you get some people going, "Oh look, Daikon does this FLCL
Yeah.
reference." Bloody idiots.
Good stuff.
Okay. I'm also going to put a shout out. If any of you know the YouTuber Goat
Oh, yeah.
Juicers, he does a lot of shit, but his one on FLCL is
Yeah,
fucking
that's
fantastic.
one of my
Go
favorite
watch that.
analysis videos on YouTube. Super good.
Yeah, like a lot of what he says isn't great, but that one's
Yeah.
really good. Right, number 4 for Mr. Al.
All right. Number 4 might be my longest one, depending on how much I want to talk about this. But
You have 2 minutes.
number 4 for me is Space Dandy.
Fair.
I really like this show. That's because it's number 4. It's it's got some of my favorite single episodes of anime. Period. But with the high points come a couple episodes that don't quite hit the mark. But I really like it as a concept a lot. The fact that Watanabe just got a bunch of people together and said, "Hey, come direct an episode of this show. You can do whatever you want with it." So that's what led to a lot of this really creative stuff. And I also like that a lot of people who didn't previously have directing experience got to do something for Space Dandy and then went on to do directing work of their own on a project that they wanted.
Yeah, it was a bit like Robot Carnival, like that. A lot of animators and stuff they got to do directing work. I think.
Couple of my favorite episodes. I don't know how to pronounce this one, but season 2 of episode 5 is about the big fish.
Yeah.
And the guy who directed it is Kiyota Oshiyama, and he went on to direct Flip Flappers, which is really cool. Yeah, and it's really, I'm planning a project at some point in the future to kind of dissect these people's episodes and say how it informs and shapes their specific styles. So definitely going to look into that guy. But that's one of my favorite episodes. It looks really cool. He took
Yeah, that was great.
Basically changed the whole visual style of the show, which a lot of these do. Even though another one that I really like is season 2, episode 7, the rock and roll episode, where Dandy forms a band with the leader of
yes, that was so good.
The leader of the Jaikro Empire. And that one was directed by Sayo Yamamoto, who had done director work previously on Fujiko Mine and Mikoto no Hachin. And then later on got to direct Yuri on Ice, which is a project apparently she was very excited about, because she's always wanted to do an ice skating thing. So I kind of like to think her work on Dandy got her able to do a project she was really happy about, or really excited about.
I use that "I Want to Die" clip from Space Dandy a lot.
And then one more guy I want to talk about is Shingo Nasume, who is kind of the co-director under Watanabe.
Yes.
And I got to meet him this year at Anime Boston. Super cool. He seemed, by the way he talked about the show, it seemed he was basically the one who had to wrangle all of this talent and make it into something.
Yeah, it sounds very much like Watanabe was like, oh, I have this vague idea, you do it for me.
Super cool. He directed both the first and last episode of the show.
Okay.
And
that last episode's
yeah.
amazing.
He would later go on to direct both One Punch Man and ACCA. So he's an up and
They're
comer.
very different
I
shows.
know. So I hope that he gets some more chances to prove himself, because he's super cool. Also, I really liked USS episode, season 2, episode 3. Slow and steady wins the race. It's incomprehensible, but great. That's
Yeah, I like Space Dandy, but my one problem with it is Dandy himself.
yeah.
I think that show would be much better if we didn't have the booty stuff, honestly.
Yeah, I can see that.
If he could just be like a normal dude. Like, do you have to be like Spike, cool, but just like a normal dude?
I can't watch it because I've already seen Redline, and whenever I see Space Dandy,
Yeah,
It's the
it's
same
the same guy. Yep.
Just without elf ears.
God, I love my Papadores. That's a consistent through my favorite characters. So
That's, yeah, specific.
yeah, I've talked a bunch about Dandy already, and I'm planning on a project. So not gonna keep going here. I think I'm good for now. Dandy's great. Watch it. Fantastic dub.
Yeah, the dub's great. One of the very few to be simul
Yep,
dubbed.
that's true.
Like, it was released in the USA before Japan, I think, actually. Like,
Yeah,
a couple of hours before.
Dandy's also pretty unique for its release structure. It was it was broadcast on Adult Swim because of time zones, I guess, first.
Yeah.
Which is super interesting.
Yeah, it would have been the evening in
Yeah.
USA, which would be early morning in Japan.
Yeah, so Space Dandy is really, I think it's a really cool show for a lot of reasons. It's a kind of a remarkable example of a bunch of cool stuff. But
Yeah, Anthology is always worth watching,
Yeah.
so go watch it, people. It's pretty good. Okay, number 3. Ba-dup, ba-dup, ba-dup. Who should we have? Let's go Faust. What's your number 3?
Alright, my number 3 is Puella Magi Madoka Magica.
oh boy,
It's a really good show about magical. Obviously it's a lot darker than some of the shows that are sort of considered standard fare of the genre. But like it's got like really good characters. It's got 2 really good twists to it, which is something not a lot of other series have pulled off, I think. And unlike another show that's going to show up later on my list, I feel like it manages to, like, it's a dark show. Like, there's really not much else you can say, but it also manages to be hopeful.
Yeah, it doesn't go the overbearing. Alright, so it doesn't do a Victory Gundam whereby, like, everyone dies in horrible ways. Here's your mother's decapitated head, carry it around for a bit.
one thing I really like about Madoka is the character designs. Aoki Yume is awesome.
She is.
I really like Hidamari's sketch, and you can tell that they're her character designs because they look like Hidamari. They shorten the faces out a little bit, but they're super memorable designs.
Yeah. And they have nice costumes too.
Yeah, the art in general is really good. It's really imaginative in general, just the art overall, especially the witches areas. It's nice to see them doing something a bit different other than standard Shonen Jump art. And the music's great. I'm just gonna point that out.
Oh yeah, because that was my first exposure to Yuki Kajiura, and Jesus, that was a good first exposure.
Yeah. Not sure whether it fits the show the best. I think there was a soundtrack that would fit that show better, but it still works really well overall. And Redhead Girl is best girl, just saying that.
Sorry, who is?
Redhead Girl.
Kyoko?
Because she's a redhead, that's why she's best girl.
Oh, Pocky girl?
Redhead's always best girl.
She is.
Just saying.
That's my
I
favorite.
like Sayaka better.
Who?
Sayaka.
Is the blue hair.
Yeah, blue hair.
Color coding is important. It's like Power Rangers. Actually, do they have the Power Rangers colors? Black, blue, red, yellow.
Pink.
They do.
Oh, pink, yeah.
But you don't have a green one.
Yeah, you need to have a green one.
And the white one. The White Ranger.
No, Kyubey.
Kyubey's the White Ranger, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got somebody on r/anime to force me to watch that show, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, it does have that Power Ranger if this looks like a little children's girl show, but you've got to remember Glitter Force, whatever its real name is. What's Glitter Force's real name?
Was that Precure?
Yeah, Precure. Precure's pretty much the only magical girl show at this point that's actually meant for children. Every other magical girl show is meant for otaku. You know, like Nanoha, Symphogear, Madoka. So when people are like, "Oh, I don't want to watch this magical girl show, it's for little girls," they aren't, and they haven't been for a long time.
Yeah.
I think that'll do it for me.
Cool. Number 3 from Flame.
Alright, speaking of Shaft, my number 3 is Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei.
Alright.
Alright then.
I love it. It's probably the most clever thing I've ever seen.
Need to watch better anime.
A bit...
Savage.
Go watch DBZ, it's much more clever.
Yeah, really?
No.
That's funny.
There's a big part of the reason I like it, actually, is because of the manga, specifically the ending of it. And normally I wouldn't take that into account as far as shows go, but it's very important to the actual show. Like Kumeda, the author of the manga, he knew what he was wanting to do with the ending before he started on it. So you can see in the show itself hints towards that the entire time. Especially in the
Does
OPs.
he actually kill himself at the end? Because isn't that the joke?
No.
He's trying to kill himself all the way through.
Yes,
Then
that
why
is
does he
the joke.
end with him killing himself? That's stupid.
It's complicated. Really complicated.
So complicated.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've been meaning to watch Setsubo for a while. I really liked some of the gags in the first episode, and then I watched the second episode, and I didn't get too many laughs out of it. So I've been meaning to continue, but
it's kind of inconsistent as far as people not from Japan understanding it. I think like there's a lot of jokes and stuff in it where you must be this Japanese to ride, but the ones there's a lot of just really silly stuff in it. Like there's an episode in I think it's episode 1 or 2 of the second season where it's in gibberish, like total gibberish, and the subtitles for it.
Isn't that called Japanese?
yeah.
No, not even Japanese. Like just nonsense.
Chinese?
Could be. I don't know what Chinese sounds like. And
I would do an impression, but
Yeah.
I might get
I'm
not good reviews.
this is it's show's racist enough as it is.
I think we've hit our racism quota for the podcast.
Anyway, and the subtitles on it are about Goku looking for Dragon Balls. nothing to do with what the episode's actually about. They're
funny.
just like joke
It's like
subtitles.
They just put
they
another
into it.
subtrack over it.
That is
did they,
exactly
like,
what they
actually
do.
just rip the subtrack from DBZ, or did they create their own one?
They created their own one.
Okay.
The actual subtitles are above, like on the top of the screen too, so you know what's actually going on. And
Oh, is that Matthew Perry thing that got posted a while ago?
yes, that's what the actual
Oh, okay.
episode's about, Matthew Perry. But when it broadcasted it, it was in gibberish, and they had those subtitles under it.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, they do a lot of random stuff like that. Shaft just goes all fucking out on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild. There's an entire, well, not an entire episode, most of an episode that's in a very similar style to that of the Witch's Labyrinth in Madoka.
Oh, cool.
Huh.
And there's this episode where in the manga it was where they introduced the voice actors for the anime, but in the show they switch voice actors constantly throughout the thing. So you'll have like Sawashiro voicing Hiroshi Kamiya's character.
Wait, so Shiro's
the
in it.
MC.
That's funny.
Yeah, everybody's in it.
Yeah,
Sawashiro,
it's got a stacked cast.
Well,
Chiwa
Because I know Aragi's VA is the main guy,
he's the main
but
character.
didn't know Sawashiro also was. What does she do? Who does she play?
What? She plays a little immigrant girl, and she sounds nothing like what she does in everything else. Like, it's really high pitched and stuff. It was pretty shocking. It's a pretty all-star cast as far as Shaft goes. Sodachi's VA, I wouldn't say she's the main girl. Nonaka Ai she's Sakura's, Kyoko's VA as well. She's basically the main character, Fura Kafka, who's one of my favorite characters, just fucking ever. Love her. Yeah, great VA cast. Shaft does just madness. It's a really funny show. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm very excited to check it out, or continue checking it out, I guess. Sounds really funny.
Besides Mushishi, it's probably the best series I've dropped.
That is always the best recommendation.
Yeah.
Like a really good series, but I just can't. It's too much.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Just gonna go down the list then. What's number 3 from Mr. Al?
All right. My number 3 is Evangelion.
Good choice. That might be coming up
yeah.
again on my list.
All right.
Is your entire list mecha?
Yes.
Seriously.
Yep.
I anticipated.
I like giant
the whole
robots.
mecha list.
Giant robots are awesome.
I'll keep this one short because everyone said everything about Ava before. I really like it because a lot of people like to look at it and be like, what does the story mean? What does the symbolism mean? But I really like to look at Ava through kind of a personal lens. I really like the characters, especially Shinji really connects with me personally. So I kind of take that focus on it, and that's the best way for me to. I get the most out of it looking at it that way. The final scene of Ava TV is probably my favorite anime scene ever.
Pretty great. Can't disagree.
Super good. The soundtrack they use there, the name of the track is Good or Don't Be. But
Of course it is.
it's just a string and piano version of Crow Angel Thesis. Super good. One of my favorite songs.
Yeah, the soundtrack in general is great. In all
Yeah.
50,000 different ways they play Fly Me to the Moon.
Yeah, exactly. What else? I really like Asuka as well. Her character is super interesting. I think it's really interesting how closely she ties her self-worth to her piloting skills. And I like to make parallels with that to people who argue on the internet. Because anytime you insult somebody's favorite show, they take it as a personal insult. So I look at Asuka like that. whenever her dominance as a pilot gets threatened, she freaks out. Yeah, that's it about Ava. Super good.
Yeah, it's one of the most famous and popular for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
And it has all the merch you could ever want.
Yep, I know. That's what I love about it.
Do you want Ava
Money.
razors? You can get Ava razors. Do you want Ava tampons? You can get Ava tampons.
Wasn't there an Ava train at one point?
Yes, there
Oh
was.
yeah.
It's like the most merch thing ever outside
Yeah.
of Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the way Eva handles.
Eva?
Symbolism.
What's this, Wally?
Yes.
Yo. Bringing back to Wally.
Eva.
Wally's the best anime.
Yeah, Wally's my favorite anime.
Corey in the House, the best anime.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, all right. There's the Corey in the House meme. I was waiting for it.
Sorry.
No, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Anyway, it's not necessary to understand what's going on in the show. Like, I feel like a lot of shows that are very heavily symbolic, you need to understand that in order to get what's going on in the show. Like the aforementioned Fooly Cooly.
Yeah.
Or,
I'm not really sure if Fooly Cooly has all that much symbolism that you really need to understand.
I think in Fooly Cooly's case, it's like you can enjoy it as a spectacle piece, or you can, dig through all the symbolism and understand what the narrative is getting at. But I think it can be enjoyed both ways. Depending on what your preference
I think
is.
Ava is close to Akira in that it seems very, very complicated. But if you actually sit down and think about it, it's super simple. Like Akira, if you take it, it's guy gets hit by psychic, guy gets psychic powers, absolute power gives absolute corruption. That is Akira. That's all Akira is.
Yeah, that's true.
And bit of nuclear weapon stuff. Ava, it's pretty much people are dicks to each other. Interacting with people is bad. It's horrible sometimes, but it's worth it ultimately. I have depression.
having relationships with other people is suffering.
Well, it's like,
but we have to do it anyway.
it's like that really silly chart for End of Ava I have somewhere. It's
Yeah,
hilarious,
I've seen it.
but it's just like Anna's like, yeah, having relationships is hard, but it's worth it. Stop watching anime.
Yeah.
Good advice for most people on Reddit.
Yeah, stop watching anime, people. Go watch real Chinese cartoons,
Seriously.
like Blood Divorce.
King's
Go watch.
Avatar.
Yeah. Go watch
Or-
Wally.
Code Lyoko.
You're saying words I don't know now.
All right. Yeah. I'm pretty good with Ava there.
Cool.
We can leave it
All
up.
right.
Okay, Ringo, what's your number 3?
Speaking of good dubs, English dubs, Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
So good.
Such a great series.
Yeah, the like subtle world building that goes on in the standalone complex series is just something that I don't think has been done as well in any other series.
Yeah, it's fantastic in that regard.
Dude, the voice acting is really good, both in the English dub and the Japanese dub. The OST is really good. Probably one of my more favorite parts about
I
it.
think I bought all 3 albums on iTunes back when I had iTunes.
Nice.
So good.
I thought the character models and like just the background like architecture is really nice. Like it's like a really believable future Japan, I guess. Yeah, I just think it's interesting how like the major is depicted in different ways and all the different Ghost in the Shell stuff, the movies, the TV show, the Rise stuff.
We
But
don't talk about Rise.
oh, we don't
No,
talk about.
Arise was
I
fine.
forgot that does.
Now that the live action films come out, Arise is now fine.
The general aesthetics of Arise were kind of off-putting.
Yeah. The standalone complex is great.
But yeah, standalone complex. I love it. I love both seasons. I think both seasons are equally good.
Yeah, I think they're great. The ending of I think the ending of the second season is better. The bit where Bato has the giant like metal cross over his shoulder is really good. When he's trying to get Major out of that hole. It has some great music. You got the missiles and stuff. It's crazy. That goes.
Yeah.
Standalone
The,
complex is also really interesting because it was released. It was a pay-per-view. Every 2 weeks, an episode will drop pay-per-view, which is why it looks so good. Because they had twice the length and also a lot of money to do it with.
Yeah, I don't know if you know about this, but or if you have any insight on it, but I think it's really interesting that the episodes are standalone and complex. Like how they basically tell you which ones are episodic and which one is relates back to the main plot. I think that's
that was
super interesting.
That was a fun trick to play, and I think those standalone, those episodic ones,
they
aren't really filler because they do a lot of character work in that, and the complex ones, they're mostly pure plot, and then you get a lot of the character interaction and characterizations in those standalone ones, which I think was a really good mix and a good way to do it.
Yeah, I think it was super interesting that they're like, they're up front right at the beginning of the episode. They're like, oh, now I know what to expect from this one.
Yeah. Well, some of the plots can sometimes be a bit obtuse, so I think it's just helpful kind of marking out. I mean, that's one of my problems with Oshii as a director, is he can be very obtuse, and that first film, and the second film especially, they are quite obtuse, and so... I don't know who directed Standalone Complex, but they did a good job of trying to get away from that.
Standalone Complex is the best show that I've ever dropped.
That's another episode, guys.
That's a new episode, the best show I've ever dropped.
Actually, could be an interesting one.
A lot. There's a lot.
I only drop terrible shows. Actually, that's a lie. I only drop okay shows. Terrible shows you gotta watch.
Nah.
So my number 3 pick is Mobile Zeta Gundam. It's a direct sequel to the original 1979 Mobile Suit Gundam. It was directed by Yoshiyuki Tomino, who is a crazy person, if anyone knows him. He's the guy behind such fun things as Overman King Gainer, Zambot 3, which with its children suicide bombers, Ghazi's Wing, Dunbine, Wings of Reen. He's mental, but he's really important. He's the man who, when some people did some doujinshi of a character from the original Gundam, he actually had like a massive angry rant to them because they got her nipples wrong.
Oh.
Like he thought her nipples should be darker.
How dare them?
Yeah, that sounds like something he would do.
Yeah, he's interesting. Like, there's articles about that shit because he's a crazy person, but he's great. Although he's very much love or hate him. So this series is set 8 years after the original series, and it charts the story of a guy called Camille Bidan, who, as he gets involved in this kind of civil war that's going on, because after Zeon was defeated by the Federation at the end of the original series, spoilers obviously.
Oh shit.
Who would have guessed the space Nazis get defeated by the psychic child? The Federation kind of go a bit overboard and become authoritarian and stuff, and they create kind of a semi-autonomous military group called the Titans, and they go around gassing colonies, abusing people, calling people called Camille, saying, "Is that a girl's name?" And against them, a group rises called the AUG, the Anti-Earth Union group, who are also kind of part of the Federation, who are saying, "Stop being dickheads, guys. Let's be nice to people." So Camille joins the AUG after his mum gets killed by the Titans, and a guy calls his name a girl's name. And the story kind of goes from there in this kind of hyper-serious operatic fashion. It's serious in a way. No anime today is serious in many ways. There's very, very few moments of levity at all. Apart from maybe the children, but even they are dealt with in a fairly grim way. It's melodrama to the core, but it's like all the way through. It's not heartily doing it, so it's fine. And then those last 10 episodes are amazing because they're just this ultra serious, deathly battle with massive stakes. So then a third kind of faction joins in towards the end, and there's sub factions. It gets complicated but amazing. The art overall is really good because even for a 50 episode show back in 84, 85, this thing looks great. It looks great by today's standards, quite frankly, because the unlimited Gunpla money, and it has such a fantastic art style. Yaz did the character designs, the guy who did the origin manga, and they are stunning character designs with lovely flowing 80s hair all over the place. The mechanical designs are amazing. The Gundam Mach 2 is probably a lot of people's favourite version
It's the
of
best.
the Gundam, even though it's barely used actually. And there's a lot of cool little like evolutions of suits you saw from before. The soundtrack is this, again, ultra serious space opera soundtrack. It's great, with the second OP being amazing. Well, sadly, they can't use the 2 openings in the West because they've used the same tune as a guy. They licensed the tune from like a guy from America and then put different words at the top, but the license has run out, so they have to put different music in now.
That's weird.
which sucks. But the animation is still amazing. Like, the animation on the second opening is some of the best animation ever in anime. So go watch that. It's great. Yeah. The ending is all-time great. I'm not going to spoil it. But it's fantastic. And then it immediately leads you into Double Zeta, which is a little bit jarring because Double Zeta's beginning is a comedy, but that's because it's different characters with different focuses. So that can be a bit jarring for some people, and some people hate Double Zeta, though I love it personally. I mean, Chara Sung, a woman whose hair is half red, half yellow, and all big, who screams, I need to get my tits out at some point.
I mean, sounds like a good show to me.
She's great. She's sort of dressed in leather at some point with a whip. I fetched it.
Ooh, gotta hit all the fetishes.
No, but Zeta Gundam's great, and I think everyone should definitely watch the original Gundam, and I think if you've watched that, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't go on to do the sequel, certainly.
I would definitely agree that that you should watch Zeta if you have seen the original. It is really, really good, though also depressing as hell.
Oh yeah, like something even like Attack on Titan is supposed to be deadly serious, but even that has moments of levity that just Zeta Gundam just doesn't have. Because it's just not that kind of show. There's no potato girl in Zeta Gundam.
That's a deal breaker.
Yeah, but there are lots of women in strong positions. I mean, there's one Rekua that's a bit dodgy in kind of the gender ideas, what she does towards the end, but the rest of them are really good. And Lieutenant Emma Sheen's one of the best female characters in anime, period, quite frankly. She's fantastic.
So hard for me to get in the mech stuff.
Why?
It's just like not relatable. It's like, oh, these things that don't exist in real life.
What, like magical girls?
I don't like magical girls
and
either.
Food grabs. Yeah, no. I think you have to get past the mechs and understand it's not about them. It's about.
Oh yeah, I understand
people.
that. I mean, I've watched like Neon Genesis Evangelion and
but
loved
that's
it.
a Tokusatsu show. That's not about mecha at all. That's about Ultraman.
It's an Ultraman.
It is all about Ultraman. To use my secret kung fu knowledge. No, but I can see why some people might like it, but there's just such a huge range. I mean, things like Flag, which is a very unknown show actually, is really about two reporters trying to deal with how they go through a war and what happened to them. But anyway, number twos, I feel.
Yeah, let's do it.
Who should go first? Let's go Dr. Faust.
All right, my number 2 is Baccano. It's just like, I really like gangster movies, like things like White Heat or like The Godfather, and Baccano is a really, really good gangster show. It's jazzy, it's energetic, it's got a really, really good ensemble cast with a couple of batshit crazy characters.
It's got characters, guys.
Well, batshit crazy ones
characters.
is the thing. Like,
yeah.
People that fucking do backflips off of moving trains and literally punch a man's face in.
Yeah, I'm a big Baccano fan. I think that they do a really good job of managing a cast that large. Yeah. Because there's definitely with a cast like that, there's definitely the tendency, and only like 13 episodes. They definitely could have just had some of them be nonsense background characters, but I think they give enough, each of them enough time to kind of have a character, to be relatable. Not necessarily all of them don't get character growth or whatever, but I think a lot of them are memorable, and I think they do a good enough job making them distinct. Yeah.
Although I do think they could have maybe cut out one or two and given some more time to the rest. But then I understand it's kind of part of a larger series, and they could have made more.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, it's like if you just take the first season of Durarara, some characters come out the same way,
Right,
but then
yeah,
later
exactly.
on...
Though I think it probably does help that there's like 3 distinct plots going on in the show, and like most of the characters are like only in one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's only the little couple that are in all of them, isn't it?
Yeah. Best couple.
Yeah, the crazies.
I think the presentation style is definitely notable. the fact that everything is told out of order, but also each of the 3 stories are interspliced in individual episodes. And I also think it's really cool how the first episode basically makes no sense and is super meta until you've seen the whole show, and then you realize, oh, they're talking about how to present the show you're watching right now. That's weird, but I think it's compelling as a hook, but also confuses a lot of people.
Yeah, it could be a bit off-putting me, like, are you actually going to tell us a story yet?
Yeah.
We're just going to talk about telling us a story.
Yeah.
But it's good once it gets going. I do like Baccano, and its dub is great. I'm just going to throw that out there, because the dub is...
Oh yeah, probably one of the best.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. I can't really say more than it's really good, because it is.
I didn't care for the dub too much, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Like, the big selling point on it is that they use accurate voices, but
Well, no, there are a lot of fake accents, but
yeah, they're like really.
It's still. I think it
fake
adds
and,
to the
like,
it adds to the
bad.
charm, because Baccano's kind of a tongue-in-cheek, slightly absurd mafia story. So I think that the cheesy voices would have sounded really out of place if it was like a super serious kind of mafia story. But the fact that it's a little bit bonkers, I think it adds to the charm. But I could totally see why you wouldn't like it.
And it works for internationals like me, because it sounded fine to me. Probably like all of your Americans trying to English accents sound fine to you. But if we're like, these are awful, what are you doing?
So, Faust, I wanted to ask, do you have you seen, and how do you feel about Durarara? Because we mentioned it, but I think since it's from the same author.
I have seen some of it.
Oh, okay.
I think I watched like the first half of the first season, but it didn't really grab me quite as much as Baccano did. I think really because it struck me that it was less about like the characters that I really enjoyed weren't the ones that were actually the focuses of the story. Like, if it had just been a series about, like, Shizuo and Celti and Isaiah and Simone, like, that would have been amazing. But instead, it was more about, like, the high schoolers.
Yeah, I think it definitely gets bogged down in that aspect. I still haven't finished the last core of the last season, or of the second season. But
It's pretty good.
yeah, I still have to. I have to go back to it. But
Yeah, it also has that big problem of it doesn't have those distinct stories like Baccano
Yeah.
does. Like, Baccano
Yeah.
has those 3 distinct
Yeah.
storylines, whereas Durarara kind of melds from one to the other.
I think Durarara's strengths are in the couple moments in the show where all of the individual character stories converge, and then you see how everybody got there, even though they may not have presented it in order. Like, there's a couple moments. I think there's one moment in season 1 where everybody's like in the same plaza, like every character they focus on. And I thought that was super cool. How all their stories kind of converged for like one scene. But
Yeah.
And anyway, probably off topic. Baccano's good.
Baccano is good. Go watch Baccano.
It's on my plan to watch list.
Go watch it right after this finishes. Just, like, drop everything.
All right.
Cool.
Do we want to go on to somebody else's? Who wants to go next?
Yeah, let's have Flame next. What's your number 2?
Alright, my number 2 is Non Non Biori, as I did a pretty bad job explaining this in the previous recording.
Shh, that didn't happen.
Yes, there is no previous recording. Nobody screwed up a recording.
This isn't even edited at all. It's all seamless.
So I'm going to
extra.
try to do a better job explaining stuff this time. So, for some context here, the house I was born in had an outhouse. So I'm from pretty freaking
Yeah,
far
that
out
is very
in the boonies.
Texas.
I'm sorry.
No, not even Texas.
Texas does not have outhouses.
That's,
You know, just holes in the ground.
That's
Or very
Appalachia.
Kentucky or
That's what
whatever
that
it
is.
is.
Anyway, so it's very relatable and nostalgic to me. because it's a very accurate, I would say, depiction of living out in the country and just finding shit to do with your little friends. And it's very relatable to me as well, because I have a daughter who is about similar to the age of the girls in the show. So I'm like seeing them do stuff that both I did and that she's doing now.
Cool.
So it's kind of like looking at a photo album, I guess. Look at that same sort of feeling. Yeah, it's I like it a lot. And I guess more technically, I find it very funny as well, especially for a cute girl show. I'm usually kind of slightly annoyed by those, to be honest.
Get out of here.
I still like them.
That's a very fair sentiment.
Uh,
That's the correct view of little cute girls shows, to be honest.
the backgrounds are really beautiful. The soundtrack's lovely, and I like the characters are actually pretty good considering they're supposed to be children. It works out pretty well because you can get. I feel like you can get away with a lot of stuff having them be children instead of 18-year-olds.
When have they ever been 18 in any
that's true.
anime? They were like 14
Well,
or 21.
They graduate high school in K-On, so
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's actually a horror show.
Yeah, but they're not actually 18, are
Oh.
they?
Spoilers.
sorry.
They don't graduate, they get killed. Oh.
But
Suicide
yeah, no.
They die of diabetes.
I definitely agree with that sentiment. Having a kind of comfy, relatable, cute girl slice of life. I think a lot of people connect to different ones, but it's always for some somewhat personal reason like that, or at least in my experience. I feel similarly about K-On!
Does Angel Cop count as a cute girl
Nope.
show? Because I connect to that deeply.
No.
No.
None of you have seen Angel Cop, have you? Oh,
What's
God.
going on the list?
If this is justice, I have a banana. Great lines like that. And the Jewish conspiracy that's in that. Anyway, continue. As I derail it.
Alright. Anything else about Non-Number Your?
No, I'm good. Did a lot better that time.
It has great memes.
Oh, yeah, it's the
Great memes.
top tier memes.
Those Darude Sandstorm edits
Oh,
are
the best.
fantastic.
Yep.
That's all I know about that show.
The JoJo episode. Oh, we're talking about memes. It's got an episode made by David Productions where
Fuck's sake.
Was it a JoJo reference?
I think you're fine. No, it's not just a JoJo's reference. It's a motherfucking
Yes.
JoJo's
Oh,
reference.
of course.
Cool. Okay, if you're done, we'll move on. Your number 2, Mr. Al.
Yeah, sure. So my number 2, it's probably a better show than my number 1. And I like it a lot. Well, that makes sense. But whenever whenever threads go up, like what's a standout 10 out of 10? Like, what do you think is the most quality anime you've seen? I usually go with Ping Pong.
School Days.
I was literally about to say School Days.
Oh yeah, well, obviously, School Days is a tier above.
I do actually love School Days. I can't deny it. I think it's a hilarious parody. But anyway, continue.
But Ping Pong the animation is my second favorite anime. I really like how they took a chance on the animation style, and I think it pays off. A lot of people think it looks wonky, but if you take some time to adjust to it, I think it's really outstanding. I would say that the highs of the animation quality or the animation style outweigh some of the wonkiness. But I really admire USA taking a chance, as he always does, on something, on something a little different. Because you definitely could have told this story using standard
Using
anime
Beastie
visuals.
Boys.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. This could have been a Fujo show. Jeez.
Imagine if it was Fujo show.
Oh no.
People would actually like it then, wouldn't
Yeah, people would talk
they?
about
Shows
it.
how shallow they are.
Then it would be amazing.
Now I'm picturing that. I don't want to picture that. But really
What
like.
if it was cute girls?
Well, they already made a Cute Girls Ping Pong show. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was shit.
Ping Pong also has my favorite soundtrack in anime. Super good. It's probably the one I've listened to the most out of any. Lots of memorable tracks. My favorite is Dragon. Look that up. I also really like that every character gets an arc, no matter how important or non-important. Several characters are only show up for like minutes of runtime, but they have an arc throughout the story. It's also my most rewatched show. I've seen it more than 7 times. I think I'm on 7 or 8. Or 8 or 9. I don't remember.
So much. I think the only one I've watched that many is Gunbuster.
It's also got some super memorable scenes, especially the Christmas montage in, I believe, episode 5. I gotta look that up. I should have wrote that down. But it's a montage backed by one of the characters singing karaoke, and it shows what every major and multiple minor characters are doing on that one Christmas Eve. It's really telling about all of their characters, shows where they are. Couple scenes with my favorite character, Sakuma Manabu. He has a really good scene on the bridge and in the bathroom during the final tournament. Yeah. Yep.
Really? In the bathroom?
In the bathroom. Ooh. He's got a bathroom scene all to himself.
Getting handy.
But
practicing his strokes, is he?
Yeah. Super good show. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Go watch it, please.
Yeah, Yuasa's pretty good. He's one of the few people who's actually being a bit experimental still. And I don't know how he gets his stuff funded. I mean, can't imagine Ping Pong or Kemen Nuzume or whatever it's called actually did well.
Definitely not.
Who was giving him money?
Well, I mean, by the time Ping Pong came out, he had actually. I mean, this is the only one of his shows that has gotten a DVD and Blu-ray release in the West. Funimation picked it up. They dubbed it.
Didn't Kaiba?
The dub is trash. I don't believe so.
Okay.
But yeah,
I know he did Mind Game.
I don't know how.
Didn't he?
Yeah, he did Mind Game.
That got released.
Kaiba. Did it?
Yeah, Mind Game got released in the West, I think.
Well, then
Sure.
my facts are wrong. Then I've been trying to find these shows, so it's been hard.
I could be wrong, and I mean, I'm never wrong, but I could be wrong.
And the Tatami Galaxy, which a lot of people like too. But yeah, US is super good. One of my favorite anime people.
Ping Pong definitely looks interesting, which is a step up compared to a lot of other things.
Yeah, I think the visuals for a lot of people who are very visual, like anime visual minded, it's hard for them to get over it. But I think if you kind of keep an open mind, it's super. You get sold on it pretty much once you get used to it.
Yeah, what it reminds me actually of visually is a little bit of do you know Belladonna of Sadness?
Oh yeah, I can see
I've
that.
heard of it. I have not seen.
Because back in the day, Tezuka, not Tezuka, it wasn't Tezuka Productions, it was the one before that, it was Mushi Productions. They did a series of 3 kind of films, the Anime Rama trilogy, I think they're called. The first 2 were done by Tezuka, Cleopatra Queen of Sex and 1001 Nights. And and then the third was done by someone else after Tezuka left, and that was Belladonna of Sadness. And the whole point was to prove to the world that animation and anime could be kind of an adult art form.
Huh.
And so it's this super trippy, like crazy ass. It's really weird, but it's got a really interesting art design. I'll actually try and find the fucking trailer and post it in the chat for you if you really want.
Yeah, I'll definitely look at it. Yeah.
Right. And it actually really reminds me of that because it's kind of got that hyper realistic, but also kind of slightly off and trippy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Art design.
A lot of US's other stuff gets super trippy, especially some of the stuff that he does that's original is something else. But
yeah. I am looking forward to his Devilman because I love Devilman.
Yeah,
and he's really good.
Yeah, I think Ping Pong definitely shows that he can do some of his best work even on an adaptation. I haven't read the original manga, but it's super old, I believe.
Of course it is.
But yeah, I've been meaning to pick the manga up at some point. That's about all I've got to say about Ping Pong.
Cool. Okay, Ringo, let's have your number 2.
So my number 2 is also something that is better than my number 1. So my number 2 is Legend of the Galactic Heroes, which is a show that gets a lot of crap on the internet, unfortunately.
Yeah.
For being good, yeah.
Yeah, I always hear endless praise.
Well, you have the people like, oh, it's elitist. Oh, sorry for watching a show that's actually very, very good and is long.
I've never really heard criticism. I've heard that it's just like stereotyped as being something that like the quote-unquote elitists watch.
But yeah, because they're the only ones who actually bother going watching stuff old from 2007.
Yeah.
I think just because it's so hard to obtain and that it's like an old anime, people are like, ugh.
Just got licensed, Hi-Di.
Oh,
Yeah.
Go watch it legally for once.
Oh, it did, but when I was watching it, it was not licensed. Okay, Legend of the Galactic Heroes. It's probably like the most HBO-like anime I've seen, and someone can probably correct me on that, but it's just like huge spanning, I think it's 110 episodes, the main OVA. And what I love about it so much is that it doesn't really hold back on introducing characters that matter. It doesn't hold back on changing your perception, I guess, on who the good guys are, because both main sides have very likable characters that have very good goals, in my opinion. Like, really, it's really hard to hate, was it the Empire and the Free Planets Association, whatever they're called? Because like they both have like really scummy things about them, and yet the people who are like kind of leading them in the forefront are very likable.
Reinhardt and his fabulous hair.
The hair. Oh,
I did not want to like him, but
How
I
do
love
you not
him
want to
so
like
much.
him? The minute you see him, you're like, oh, you're gorgeous, mate. I just want
He
to
just seemed
bury
like
my
a-
face in his chest.
Pretty boy.
Like a rich, prissy, pretty boy guy, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like this guy. But yeah, I love every aspect of it except for maybe it's animation, because it's older show and it's kind of a slideshow in some parts.
Although, to be fair, that kind of show, you can't really do anything else because a lot of it's talking.
Yeah,
So what else are you going to be doing with it?
They'll pull a shaft on it.
I don't think it's that big of a detriment, but I know a lot of people look at like the first couple episodes and be like, "This is not for me," just because
Old
it
anime.
looks
Pass.
limited.
Yeah, but they're wrong, is my answer to them. They're stupid.
But yeah, but, like people like anime like Scum's Wish, which is like basically a picture book, but it just like looks so gorgeous every frame.
People like Fate, I mean, that's just... It's not to harp on about hating Fate again,
Oh,
but that's
boy.
mostly just talking for like 20
I
minutes.
want
and
to
then
get you on a
fighting.
Fate cast. That's gonna happen. We're gonna
Oh,
we're
well,
gonna have a
actually.
Fate discussion.
And this is gonna be... I hate this. This is stupid. Anyway.
But yeah, the artwork's amazing. The music is so good. I think the artwork and the music makes it still feel not relevant, but not like super dated. Just because it's like so distinctive, and the music's like so it's so good.
Yeah, those character designs are amazing, because despite everyone pretty much having to wear the same clothes, they all have very different faces and different hair. And there's no same face at all in that.
Yeah, well,
Every single.
I think that's super cool. Especially with a show with hundreds of characters that are all wearing military uniforms. Making the designs distinct is a really big challenge, I'm sure, for the designers. But from what I've seen, I haven't seen the show, but they did a great job.
But yeah, besides that really weird middle patch of episodes that look like dog shit, and the kind of rushed ending, I think like the last 8 episodes kind of happened a little too quickly. I think it's probably the most perfect show I've ever
But
seen.
it'll all be fixed in the new reboot that totally will cover like, all of the material.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
'cause that's...
Are they really gonna hire 100 voice actors?
There's
to
no way it's gonna...
do the reboot.
They're not gonna get 110 episodes.
It's
out
just
of that.
not. It's not feasible to do that now, though.
I mean, I don't know how the original was made in the first place. I mean, OVAs. You had to go and buy every single episode separately.
Yeah.
Over 10 years. Like, how did even that get made in the first place?
Well, I think they had like, what was it? There was like a big mailing list
Yeah.
for the people who had the novels, and
It's still crazy. Like, it's genuinely amazing it got made in the first place. In my opinion.
but yeah, greatest anime ever. Go watch it.
Probably is the greatest anime ever, to be honest. I've seen maybe a quarter of it, and I need to finish
They
it.
don't call it the legend for nothing.
Fantastic.
Watch the original before the reboot comes out. I've already seen people saying, "Oh, there's a reboot coming out. I'll just wait until then."
I only watched Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh boy.
Sorry, that's another rant.
Yes, it is. I'm planning all these. I'm planning the fake cast. I'm planning the FMA cast. We're gonna do all these.
Code Geass.
Well, if it was you and me on Code Geass, we would just be ripping it apart the whole time. So,
I think I like that show.
Oh, really?
I do actually enjoy it.
Oh, okay.
It's really stupid, but like I get entertainment value out of it.
I like pizza. It has a lot of pizza in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a third season now.
And the best ending of all time.
Oh my god, a great ending.
Yeah.
Well, it's not an ending
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It was so good they had to retcon it out. Oh god. Anyway, Legend of Galactic Heroes. Got anything more to say about it?
It's great. Go watch it. The end.
That's good enough for me. I'll take that. My number 2 is Neon Genesis Evangelion plus End of Eva, because that's kind of part of the series. You can't really separate it in the same way you can Rebuild. You can't really separate either. But anyway,
I still do separate them though.
Yeah, because the whole point is the Neon Genesis Evangelion and End of Evangelion are him while he's in his depression and finding out how to deal with it, whereas Rebuilds are him reflecting on how he's dealt with it from a place where he is now. But anyway, so Hideki Anno directed this, same guy who did Gunbuster, which was my number 4. In 1995, basically the whole point of the show is expressing his depression on screen. Each character is a different element of his depression taken to an extreme, which is why I think a lot of people don't connect with it, because I do genuinely believe that if you haven't had depression at some point, you can find it quite hard to connect with it and kind of understand what's happening. It's not impossible, obviously, and some people can, but I think it is harder in general for that to happen. Also, there's an issue of, like Akira, it looks very complex, but it's actually really very simple. Like Akira is just unlimited power equals unlimited corruption. Evangelion is basically talking to people and having friends is difficult, but it's worth it in the end.
Yeah,
Stop
exactly.
hiding in your home. But it's hidden behind all of this kind of other stuff and Ultraman reference, because a lot of it's references to Ultraman. We went over a lot of it, because I forget which one of you had it earlier as
it was my number 3.
Yeah. So we've been through a lot of it. I love the fantastic visual direction, despite Gainax's economic problems, because there's someone embezzling at the point in time. That elevator scene is fantastic, as is the
They're
trick.
legendary.
I think it's great because it's just so awkward, and it's such a simple way to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's one of the most awkward scenes in anime. I can't watch it all the way through. I just kind of put my hands over my eyes because I'm a little girl. That's kind of sexist. No, it's not. I don't give a shit. Get in the kitchen. No.
They can't hear you from the kitchen.
I like cooking, actually. I like cooking, so I can't really say that.
I definitely agree with you when you say it's hard. It's a lot harder to connect with the characters unless you've actually gone through some sort of depression or similar circumstances of some sort.
Like piloting a giant robot?
Yeah, exactly. Like if you've gotten abandoned by your dad and then forced to pilot a giant robot, I mean, obviously you connect with the show.
What if your dad... Yeah. I was about to say, what if your dad built a giant robot, but he did?
Yeah.
Because that's just a trope in all of Mecha.
Yeah.
Is the dad builds a giant robot, then usually dies.
Yeah.
It's Mazinga Z, Getter Robo, all of those. Actually, no, Getter Robo he didn't. That was just Mazinga Z. All of those old shows which no one watches.
Oh, really?
I think it's the mom in a lot of the Gundams, though, isn't it?
No, that's only Victory Gundam.
Oh, alright.
In the original, it's his dad. In Zeta, I think his dad builds the Mark II and then he designs the Zeta. Double Zeta, it's the AUG in general. Char's counterattack. I could just go through all of these. I won't.
If we're talking Ava, Shinji's mom helped build the robot too, guys.
Spoilers. Yeah. I love that show. I think it gets a lot of stick it doesn't deserve.
Yeah, for sure.
It's great. I've got a wonderful Malaysian bootleg. I don't know if it's actually bootleg or it's just a Malaysian copy.
One of the shows I most like to own, but probably won't ever.
Yeah, Evangelion. It's great. You should go watch it. It's one of the most important shows in anime history. So even if you don't like it, I think you should watch it all the way through if you have any interest in kind of history side of things, rather than just watching it for watching its sake.
Yeah,
I agree.
Even if you don't like it, I consistently say that I think it's one of the few shows that anyone who's serious about anime should watch.
I think that Gundam, those sort of things.
Yeah.
Harlock, Yamato.
Oh,
Space
definitely
Battleship
Yamato. Yeah.
Even if it's just the reboot,
Oh,
the 21.99
the
version.
reboot's
Yes,
great.
bloody fantastic.
It's like it somehow did better than.
Well,
the
yeah, because
original.
actually had some women this time.
Oh,
Well, yeah, no, the originals famously had no women in it, apart from like the one who has the same character design as every other woman in what's his name's Leiji Matsumoto's women are all the same person.
what's that? That Daft Punk music video? That's like a big anime film.
Well,
One of the characters in that video
Interstellar
looks
555. That
Yeah.
wasn't actually by him at
Looks-
all. His involvement was very, very, very minimal. They pretty much just stuck
But
his
it's
name on it.
funny because the main chick looks exactly like the blonde chick in Yamato.
Well, they all look the same. The one from Galaxy Express 39 looks the same. The one from Harlock's the same. Like
Yeah.
it's actually, if I remember correctly, it's based on like a German singer he saw as a child and kind of had a crush on. And so Leiji Matsumoto just drew all his women like that from then on.
Yeah,
I think
so,
that's correct. I
That's
could be
a
wrong.
strange trivia. I like that.
yeah. But Dave, actually, I had a question. What do you actually think about the rebuilds? Like, do you think they stand up to the original series?
I like them. I think they're very much a sequel. I don't think they're standalone at all. They're a sequel. And a lot of it rests on what the fourth one's like. The third film especially, that lives and dies by what the fourth one does with it. I do like them, and they're beautiful for one. They're absolutely gorgeous.
Oh my god.
Like, they have some amazing action scenes.
Visuals
When
are
they're
insane.
the big eye angel, I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
That whole scene's amazing.
Jeez, yeah.
And I think they're interesting to watch from that view of this is Anno reflecting on his depression now that he's found ways to deal with it. And I do like a lot of that third film because a lot of people hate it because they have no idea what's going on, but that's because it's from Shinji's point of view. Oh god, pardon me. It's from Shinji's point of view and he has no idea what's going on. And I like that in-res confusion sort of thing, but I can understand why people didn't kind of get what's happening.
I can't forgive what they did with the first and second one though, where they gutted like all the really important miscellaneous things. With the character building, they just like dumbed down all the characters.
Yeah.
Because the character building was all done in the original series, that's the point.
Yeah.
It's a continuous... I don't
but
think it's separate
So
at
many
all.
people watch the rebuilds and don't watch the original though, so they miss out on
That's
those.
that's a personal problem.
But I always think it was designed as a sequel.
Yeah.
Like, I think it is a narrative sequel as well. There have been too many indications that it is a narrative sequel.
I really like the rebuilds. Mostly the first two, mostly so that I could see some of the scenes from the original series reanimated and looking awesome.
Yeah, film quality.
Yeah, it's amazing. There's a couple like minor changes that I wasn't really a big fan of, but and then obviously, like Dave said, it all depends on what the fourth movie does. And we've been waiting on that for a while.
If it gets made.
Yeah, Anno.
Actually, starting production is now. They started production like a month ago.
Didn't Studio Kata like sue Gainax?
Yeah, and they won. They won recently, actually. And then Gainax then announced the sequel to Royal Space Force, which was announced 30 years ago or something. What, Uberu of the Blue or something?
So who's doing
Yeah, there's no one left
the
at Gainax.
the fourth part? Who's doing the fourth part of
That's Anno.
the film then? Is it
No, it's
Kata?
Kata, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
And they
they did all the rebuilds. Yeah.
Yeah, because Anno was busy
Yeah.
with Godzilla, and now he's done that. I think unless he does a sequel to Godzilla, which he has said he might.
Ah, Godzilla's
But
awesome.
I'm pretty sure they have started production on the fourth one now.
I'm tired of Godzilla.
I like Godzilla.
I
but the West one-
still haven't seen the new one.
I mean,
So you gotta track that
What?
down.
I love it,
Yeah.
Which
but I'm
one
tired
was
of
it?
it.
The Japanese
Yeah.
one or the English
Not
one?
the English one. No, the one that Anno worked on. Shin Godzilla,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I've heard that's really, really good, actually.
I'm excited to check it out. I just haven't done it. but I'm
Yeah.
a moderate Godzilla fan. I like the series.
Yeah. Well, as long as they don't do the problem with all these Western monster movie films, the problem they do is let's focus on the human characters.
Yeah, exactly.
No one gives a shit. We want to see Optimus Prime beating the shit out of Megatron. We don't care about Sam Witwicky and his boning Megan Fox. Anyway, number 1.
Yeah, let's go on to number 1s.
Number
Let's
1.
go, Ringo.
I'm Ringo. Okay, but number 1 is not the best show I've ever seen, but I feel like the way it wraps everything up, and I guess also introduces things and does world building, is probably the best I've seen, and that's the Arya series. The one with the rowing boats. I always have to tell people that on r/anime, not. But yeah, in my opinion, the way they do character introductions, interactions in the first and all the seasons, the way they do the world building in the second season, and the way they like really nicely tie everything up in the third season, it's so incredibly satisfying. I haven't been that satisfied finishing a more than one
so it doesn't sound like you're talking like a
season series
dojin.
ever.
Wording.
Thank you.
I mean, it's
Do you want
just,
to rephrase that?
it's just so good.
No way. Keep that.
Well, that would be a bit more explicit if it was Doja.
That's true.
I want you to stick it in my womb.
All right, go ahead, dude.
Besides how satisfying it is, the character interactions, they feel very organic, like not really forced like a lot of other slice of life shows that I've watched in the past. And I think that's helped by how good the music is in the series, because it's like so fitting and it like sits in the background, but it doesn't grab too much attention to it. It's just like the perfect sort of like, I don't know, background music, I guess. And the water animation, for as weird as it is to point it out, I feel like it's so good for, I guess, the time period that it came out on. I see that UFO Table is credited in the credits on a couple episodes, so I'm wondering like maybe they did it because it looks like CG, but it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd assume they'd be on CG support.
Yeah.
A bit like how Sunrise helped Zebek with the CG in Yamato 2199.
Well, I'm sure good water animation would be super important, not for a show like that, where they spend a lot of time on the water.
It just like even to this day, it just looks like some of the best water animation ever. Like it's just like it's not drawing too much attention to it, but just the way like the sun like hits off of it and stuff like that. It's so believable, and fits within the art style of the show, which is also fantastic. But yeah, it's not the best show, but I mean it's definitely my favorite just because how awesome it is.
Maybe
I
you
guess,
can,
if that makes sense.
Maybe you can weigh in on this. I've seen a couple episodes of Arya, but I've always wondered, is that thing a cat or a cow?
It's a cat. All the so like all three major
It's a
I
really
guess
weird
gondola
looking cat.
companies, if you want to call them that. They all have like a mascot or like a president, and it's always a cat.
Okay.
How do you mix up a cat and a cow?
Have you seen the thing?
I mean,
Oh, of
it's
course
a
I've seen
weird
it.
looking
It
cat.
doesn't involve blood, guts, and gore and giant robots, does it? Do you think I'll have seen it?
It looks more pug-like than a cat.
It looks
Yeah,
like
I'm-
a dog, cat, and slightly like a cow, at least to me.
It sort of has the same issue as Almanchu does. Like the cats
I
really
don't know,
don't
man.
look like cats.
What you want? Doesn't even have udders.
It keeps me up at night, dude.
It's got the Akira big foreheads.
It must be like the thing that the author really likes to put in everything. Because
Like
both
Picard.
Himanshu and Arya were
Yes.
made by the same person.
No, she just
Yeah.
looks
And
weird.
there's also an equally weird looking cat in a Manchu. Oh yeah, the derp
Oh, of
faces.
course.
You gotta talk about the derp face is like just the best.
Yeah, I feel like I always hear people criticize the dirt faces, the chibi faces, and that kind of stuff. But like, I think it's
Like-
pretty cool. I personally like them.
I think it adds to the show. It's not like a animation shortcut like a lot of other shows do. Like when they use it, it's like, oh, okay, this
Yeah,
is not
each
just
Animation studios using shortcuts.
each character has their own individual face, like, or at least I'm
I would
No.
hope so.
They're not sharing faces,
no, I
handing
mean
around like past
they
the boss.
they all have their own dirt face, like that is theirs, which is
Yes.
cool.
It's the most important thing is when you have your own dirt face.
Yeah.
Okay. Got anything more to say about
But yeah, if you're looking for a rainy day show to watch on occasion, I don't know if you could marathon it and enjoy it as much,
I
but
doubt it. Yeah, that
it's
seems
definitely
like a slow watch.
it's like what is that, Mushishi or whatever it's called. You like watch a couple episodes here and there, and
Watch it
that's
when you want
probably
to
the
go to
best
sleep.
way to enjoy it.
Because that's what Mushishi is for. Okay. Al, let's have your number one.
All right. My number one favorite is Steins Gate. And I know that the show has a lot of problems, but it's kind of a nostalgia pick for me, but I've rewatched it enough times where I know it's still good, or at least the reasons I like it are still the reasons I like it. I've also read the visual novel and the sequel novel, so I have a lot more than just the anime invested in it.
As a adaptation though of a visual novel,
Yes, I think it is a very good VN
It's a
adaptation.
good way to give everyone their romance arcs without making it like silly.
Well, the original VN is like a very linear novel anyway. All the choice paths pretty much just lead to like 15-20 minutes of gameplay and then an end. So there wasn't like different routes to adapt. So they kind of just did the main route and then the true end. There are some problems with the true end, at least in the anime adaptation. A lot of people think that the ending that we got felt like it undid a lot of the consequences of the last couple episodes.
Yeah, I had
And
that problem.
thankfully, if they do a good job on the sequel, that will address it. The sequel novel already does, but I'm very hesitant about the adaptation because all the rest of the science adventure adaptations are garbage. And if you guys are unfamiliar,
But some people like them.
basically anything with a semicolon in the
Was
name
it
is
Cultic
part of the
9 one
science
of them?
adventure series.
Like that one.
and they all suck,
And they're all pretty bad.
except for Steins Gate.
But there are people who
Ah.
like it, and I don't understand them. They like these things, and I just don't.
People
like robotics notes.
bad
They
things
like robotics notes. Why?
Yeah.
There's nothing.
because they like bad things.
Occultic
Yep.
9 was a light
Chaos
novel,
Edge
not a
as well.
visual novel. But I believe it's part of the series, yeah. Yeah. I've never seen any of the other ones, and I have no desire to. If they'll ever translate any of the VMs, I'll probably read them, but otherwise, I'm not
Be
going to
like,
bother.
these are garbage.
But I really like, the thing I really like about Steins Gate is that they took a lot of like stupid Japanese internet memes and used that in the humor, kind of a lot of 2chan shit, and the dub translates it kind of well, which I thought was pretty good because some of that comes off as really, really bad humor if you try and
Yeah,
localize.
the dub's pretty spot
If you
on.
try and localize some of the jokes, most of them fail. But I think this dub,
But it should be accurate to the Japanese, otherwise it's terrible. Fuck off.
How bad was the do in
it's
English?
pretty bad.
Mayoshi's voice actor is not the
It's bad in
best,
German.
or voice actress. I
I
think,
was about to say it's bad in the German, but it's bad in the Japanese too, to be honest.
yeah, I think if we're giving shout-outs for dub performances, Daru's voice actor is the best one in the dub. I
Yeah,
don't think
probably.
Okabe's English voice tops
He's pretty-
Japanese Okabe,
Yeah,
but they both
doesn't
did
top
a
him,
good
but he's
job.
solid. Yeah.
I also want to mention that I really like that they used real time travel theories, real like urban myths and internet legends, and I think it
Tito?
really enhances the story. That it kind of has a quarter foot in reality.
Yeah.
But I think it is neat that they bring in all the conspiracies and CERN as an actual an actual science
Bad
place.
guy.
That's secretly a shadowy conspiracy.
Yeah, I can't really take that seriously because I know people who've worked at CERN. So it's like, this guy can be part of conspiracies. He's very clever academically, but he's a complete idiot.
But also another of the many flaws in Steins Gate. Almost all the characters are not very good.
Yeah, they're pretty bad, to be honest. Daru's like a sex
Okabe
offender.
is far and above the only character that gets any kind of development. But
I think Daru is probably the best written character
yeah,
by a long way. The rest of them, like,
Sorry,
Okabe's
what?
character, what is he?
he's a tunie. That's
Like,
it.
Yeah, he's a tunie, and that's it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
At least Daru
he's
has some
he's
depth.
a PTSD tuning, but yeah, I agree. They expand on Daru a little bit in the sequel, which I thought was really cool. You get to see more of.
Because he tried to rape his daughter again.
No. Well.
He does try to sexually assault his daughter at one point.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Time travel's
what's-
weird.
As with every girl he sees.
I haven't played the VN. It's on my list to do, but I've seen enough gameplay of it and people playing through it. What's your opinion on the art style of the VN versus
I
the
adore,
anime? Because it's definitely
adore the visual novel sprites. I think they did a
Yeah.
good job making them into anime character designs, but those VN sprites are beautiful.
What about like the general, like the backgrounds also look very stylized?
Oh yeah,
in
the
the
visual
VN.
design in the VN is very good. It's one of the best looking VNs that I've played, though I've only played 5 or 6. So,
Because like I watched the anime first and really enjoyed it, and then I saw some people playing the VN, and I was like, I would have loved the anime even more if it had sort of this like general style of the VN. Because now when I look back on the anime, it looks kind of generic, like not super generic.
yeah,
but
I think they use a couple
toned down.
a couple neat directing tricks in the anime. I like how kind of oversaturated the light is in a lot of places, especially in the first episode. Right when weird stuff starts to happen, the light like washes out all of the sky, and it gives it this kind of weird alien feeling. That adds to
like a
it makes
wasteland.
it seem more unsettling than Okabe using his phone in the street should be. But even if you've seen the anime, I definitely recommend trying out the visual novel if you were a fan of the show, because it does have alternate endings and a couple things that the anime just didn't have time for.
Or like making Ferris an actual character.
Yeah.
Instead of kind of a pointless waste of space.
Well, even then, Ferris, even in her root, she's not that great of a character, but...
Yeah, but she's useless in the anime. That's one of my problems. She should have just been cut out and it been rewritten around her absence.
But Rule
Yeah, they needed
34.
more routes. I don't know. But,
You can rule 34 the VN. I mean... Yeah, my other big problem is the way it deals with the transsexual character.
It's not
I
handled
think
very
that's-
well at all, and
It's kind of disgusting, and
Yes.
like I can't. I'm not one of these people who really gets up and on about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But even though I was like,
No,
"Ooh,
it
this
is-
is icky,"
Yeah,
I can't really condone this.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, I can't get over that. I'm sorry.
Perhaps can be cute too.
Not when you're like, oh, turn back into a boy, which is what. Even though I've always wanted to be a girl, as long as I can have a date with you.
Yeah, it's...
Ugh.
Yeah. Some of the... As much as I like some of the payoff in the second half, I think it's also got some of the worst episodes of the show.
Yeah.
The whole let's have dates with everyone so we can change everything back. Because all they want to do
Yeah.
is have a date with me because I'm so cool.
Yeah.
This totally isn't a VN dating sim.
Well, even then, the original visual novel is not very much of a dating sim. Like, a lot of people say, oh, it's a harem because it's from a VN. But, I mean, the visual novel just has slight aspects of that.
Well, they'd be right about 70% of the time.
Yeah, well, definitely, yeah. A lot of VN adaptations are straight, like, toned-down H novels, but...
Oh yeah, Fate.
Yeah,
Fate is
well,
porno.
there we go. Yes.
People taking their porno far too seriously.
But yeah, no, Steins Gate's an all-ages novel, and I think only a couple of the individual character routes are like I want to date you, so we're gonna go escape to a timeline where we're dating. But yeah, I also really like Suzuha as a character. She gets a little bit more development in the sequel. Super
Yeah,
cool.
she's pretty spunky.
Oh yeah, she's adorable. And while we're talking about Steins Gate, the sequel introduces a few new characters, but they introduce a scientist girl who used to work with Karisu when she worked in America. Maho is the best girl. She will always be the best girl. Don't want to hear anything else. Better than Karisu. Fight me, Steins Gate fans.
Dara's best girl.
That's me calling you right now to punch you through the phone.
All right, but yeah, I'm pretty much done with Steins Gate. That's it.
It's a really good flawed show.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
It's my favorite not perfect show.
I think it's a little crazy that r/anime generally thinks it's one of the best shows ever, and I'm like,
No.
I think it gets circle jerked too much. But
Yeah.
I like it a lot. But at least like I can have a conversation about it without seething at the mouth and insulting.
It's perfect. There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yes.
I do such a great impression of the online community.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wee.
oh no.
Yep.
Faust, you want to go next?
Well, you're taking my hosting duty.
Oh, sorry, dude.
You bloody wait your turn. You can be host next time, but not today. Piss off. Mr. Faust. What's your number one anime?
Yes, totally paying all of the attention. My favorite anime is probably the best anime I've ever seen, bar maybe one movie. It's Fate Zero, which I'm sure Dave loves.
I haven't actually seen Fate Zero, so I can't comment.
Well, it's not. It's
right,
based
in
off
that
a
case-
light novel, so it's.
Oh, light novels have
No,
such a great reputation.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are decent.
No, yeah. I think.
I
Fate
mean, like
comes.
Spice and Wolf is a light novel.
I think Fate Zero comes from the era of light novels when they were still okay. But
Such high praise
yeah,
there.
go ahead.
No, Fate Zero I think is good because it's not necessarily just about the physical conflict between the different masters and their servants. It really is, I feel, about as much about the different philosophies they have of the fight and about stuff than it is actually which one of them can punch harder. Because
But which one can punch harder?
I think I think Ryder has the highest strength stat. But hey, it's the Nasuverse. It's the Nasuverse. Stats don't matter. They're all made up anyway.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, the philosophies are as important as their actual abilities. Like, you have things like the debate between Saber Rider and Archer about which one of them actually took the right approach to kingship. And which never really gets an answer, I don't think.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I think with an ideological debate like that, all of them think they're
Yeah.
right, so they don't think they can come to an agreement.
Especially not with Archer there.
Yeah. I am in an interesting place when it comes to Fate Zero. I read the entire visual novel, watched Unlimited Blade Works, and then watched Fate Zero. So most of the first half of the show was either stuff I already knew or fights that I thought were worthless. Until about I think it's exactly episode 12 when they start the fight with Castor. I did not like it very much, but I thought the second half was really good. So it's hard for me to talk about Fate Zero because I am so conflicted.
I
on
do
it
think
as a whole.
that the stuff that was more where the war was winding down was better than the stuff building up to the actual fight with Castor, but I really don't know how to put this. I don't think you would appreciate the second half as much if you didn't actually know about the characters and stuff from the first half.
Oh, certainly. Another thing I wanted to bring up was, for a lot of people who are anime only, who watched Fate Zero first, I totally understand why they love it so much, and I wish I could have, because a lot of the stuff, like the 40-minute first episode of exposition that I already knew, was totally a drag. But if it's your first exposure to Fate and that first episode is interesting to you, then you'll certainly you'll love the first half. You'll think it's super interesting, but unfortunately, that was not me.
Yeah, I can definitely understand why that would be a drag for some people.
I read the whole visual novel. I like Fate. I have a lot of problems with basically every anime adaptation, but I like the series, so I can't be that harsh on it. Gilgamesh is the best.
No, Saber Rider.
I think he's too charismatic for me not to love him. But
I love everything about Rin.
Rin is
no,
Rin is best girl.
Still Saber.
Saber fags are losers.
Fuck Rin.
Here's the thing: Saber is the probably best person, but Rin's best girl.
I mean, I don't want to get into a waifu war here, but
I mean, she won best girl contest, so she's best girl.
No, that was because of the Chinese rigging the contest, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
That was what everyone was saying.
One thing that I don't like about Saber, I probably just resent Saber because Nasu likes Saber more. So she gets all the figures, she gets all the merch, and Rin gets nothing. But and Sakura gets even less.
Well, that's just because Heaven's Feel hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll get a couple figures. I'm excited about that. Hopefully they don't ruin
taking your
Heaven's
porn way too seriously.
Feel.
Cool. Have you been through Fate Zero? Described it in detail.
Did you successfully dodge all the Fate Zero talk?
Yeah, I was great at this. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sure you're glad you avoided us talking about how deeply introspective it is about all of the conflicts within humanity and
Their bollocks pseudo philosophy.
yeah. Actually, there's not really so much. I don't know. I don't think there's really philosophy, in the academic sense of all the Freudian and
it focuses on
Kenyan or whatever the shit it is.
Ideologies.
Yeah.
It's a very simple. Kiritsuga has a very simple mindset.
Oh yeah,
when
no,
it comes,
totally.
to an ideal, but it shows how dedicated he is to that. And I think a lot of the characters in Fate embody one particular thing. So I think what's compelling about some of the characters' interactions is how their particular worldview clashes with someone else's. That's why people remember stuff like the Banquet of Kings, because it's like three somewhat simple ideologies coming at a head, and going back and forth, and then the viewer will connect with whichever one that they think is best. Or
Just like Battle Royale High School.
there you go.
Three
So
different,
those two series are clearly
three different
exactly
factions.
the same.
Space-time police,
I mean, yeah, of course.
the demons, and then the fairies.
It's like
It's all the same.
Castor and Saber then.
Yes, I totally know who they are.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do the
So we
Fate
can
cast.
give Dave an aneurysm.
It's going to be great.
Does that mean I have to watch more than Unlimited Blade Works?
Yes.
Yes. I think Fate Zero is probably my favorite out of all the anime adaptations of Fate.
Yeah. Did you watch it first? Or Ringo?
Oh, no, I watched the really bad original
okay,
one.
right.
Ugh, God, it was so bad.
I still haven't sat down and suffered through 2006.
There's a line they translated that's people die when they're killed.
Well, actually, that's kind of a faithful translation. That just shows you how good Nasu is at writing. But it actually, in context, that phrase like actually means something. But it would be big Fate spoilers if I really went into it. So,
did someone die by any chance?
well, let's just say that
Fate series.
Shiro, especially in Fate, Shiro has crazy regenerative powers, and he doesn't really know why. So instead of letting Saber fight literally anything, he'll throw his body into whatever is about to hurt her.
Because he's a hashtag nice guy.
Yes, because he is a white knight nice guy.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, that's kind of a fair summary of his character. Like, he wants no one to be hurt.
I think his ideals are super interesting. I don't think they're very well written, very well articulated, but I think they're super interesting, especially from a Fate Zero perspective, because he idolizes Kiritsugu, and
yeah, I mean
he takes this
my
very
impression
strange.
from Unlimited Blade Works.
What's up?
Is that my like from going from Zero to Blade Works? Like, my impression was that Shiro's ideals are basically Kiritsugu's as seen through the eyes of like a 5-year-old.
Yes, it's his 5-year-old self idolizing him, and then trying to do what he does, even though, if we've seen Fate Zero, we know what he does is not anything to idolize.
Oh god, no.
So, I think it's super interesting, and all of Fate, not necessarily the adaptations, and I think it does a great job of showing 3 different situations where he comes to terms with his ideals. But, yeah. I think Shiro is an interesting character, mired by poor writing and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, that's all I got to say about Fate. Pretty much, we'll save it for a Fate
Have we
cast.
finished dissecting all of Fate?
Go watch it.
Okay, let's have Flame. Let's have your number 1.
Okay, my number 1 is Cross Ange.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Yes.
boy.
It's
I'm surprised.
Yes, we definitely knew this
Fucking
coming.
truth.
who could have foreseen this? It's the funnest show I've ever watched. It's a lot of silly, campy, trashy fun. Even if you don't know necessarily that it's a Gundam Seed parody, because I never even heard of Gundam Seed when I watched it. I just thought it was fucking nonsense. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's where that guy comes from.
Oh, that's why, like, the bad guy is literally all of the Gundam Seed watchers who will do waifu ward everyone in that show.
He just wants a perfect waifu.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's just silly and fun. I really loved it.
it's girls in mecha fighting interdimensional laser dragons. I mean, what about that doesn't sound the best? Like, it all makes sense in universe. Like, it's stupid sense, but it does make sense. These people are saying it doesn't make sense, there's huge plot holes. There aren't really. It's just the universe is bonkers.
Yeah.
Set in.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense if you think of it from a logical, like, this universe perspective.
But yeah, but like,
Because
everything follows,
obviously-
so you can see how someone got here from there.
Like, obviously, there's no sort of mineral that turns people into dragons.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
But,
I mean, it's,
yeah, there is in Cross Ange.
oh yeah, it's a MacGuffin
So that
thing,
makes
isn't
sense.
it? Like, that's not what MacGuffin is at all, but it's like, it's like unobtainium from Avatar.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that does the thing we want it to do.
It has hilariously over-the-top violence sometimes.
Oh god, yeah, it does. Like,
Yeah,
I'm surprised they got that on TV. It must have been censored as shit.
like government agents busting down the door of a orphanage with flamethrowers.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I loved it. I watched it with a friend. Had a great time. I am terrified to try to watch it again because I do not think I would like it as much on a rewatch.
You know what?
But,
I watched Bleach with a friend, and I don't think I would like Bleach rewatching it by myself.
I could probably watch anything with a couple drinks. That's stupid, and I'd probably love it every time.
Yeah, like it's fun in a way that a lot of these. I don't think it's bad. I don't actually think it's a bad show. I think it's very cleverly written to be dumb. If you get what I mean?
Intentionally dumb.
Yes. And it does a very good job of it. Unlike a lot of these things, which just come out as being really boring. Ainge is a fantastic character. Like, the main character is fantastic. Her arc is from genocidal maniac you hate to genocidal maniac you love. And some of the others have really good arcs, like the redhead, I forget what her name is. She has an amazing arc. Hilda, yeah, she's a fantastic character. The maid is pretty fun. There's a maid, of course. Why wouldn't there be? Go have a different waifu. The Tusk, the totally not Jesus Yamato. He has some great jokes, with the running joke of his face falling into her crotch, like every other episode, that ends up in an accidental blowjob when it gets returned. The infamous accidental blowjob. It's a great show. It also has a great set of music on it. Like, it's a shame it's all blocked on YouTube, but the soundtrack's actually really, really good. I enjoy it a lot, and I wish I could get it, quite frankly.
Yes.
Good old Cross Ange. I have to remember to watch it next time I'm in the mood for something absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
Its
mech design's pretty cool too. They're CG, but it's actually really good CG, I think.
Yeah.
It's on the mecha.
I certainly like good CG.
I mean, it's Sunrise, the only people who do mecha.
Yeah.
It's better than it was in Gundam Seed.
Oh god, the shit that looks like it's from like a PS2 game.
It does.
Have you seen was it Expelled from Paradise? That fully CG.
That looks actually pretty
movie?
good.
It is pretty
Visually.
good.
I mean, it's nonsense and makes no sense and is quite a boring film actually, but it looks good. I thought anyway.
I still haven't seen it.
So, yeah, I feel like I did a much better job explaining that
Yeah.
last time.
Different time. Yeah.
I forgot all the
What do you
stuff I
mean?
said.
What do you mean last
So,
time?
It must have been another dimension where you explained it.
Someone with all
Yep.
the nice audio equipment totally didn't
Got your 10
manage
days.
to miss half the recording at all.
I can't hear you over those chicken tenders.
Oh
Got
god.
the tendies.
Wait, what? Yeah, no.
Oh god, I can only think of that awful porn video now.
Oh no, we don't want to talk about awful porn. That's another cast.
That's episode 2.
Anyway,
All right.
got anything more to say about it?
Chicken tenders?
It's
Yeah,
on my-
not
well,
chicken-
this is
it's on
now
my-
the chicken tenders podcast. We're talking about our
I
favorite
don't think
chicken
you can get them
tenders.
in this country, so I don't really know what they are.
Well, you just import them.
Yeah, you can piss off on that idea.
We'll send you some in the mail.
I'm gonna mail you some chicken tenders.
I really want some off chicken tenders. They've gone off in the mail.
Some mail for a week chicken tenders.
Oh, God.
Well, if you know, if I get them from
Well, that's pretty good. Don't you dare.
if I get them from McDonald's, they'll look the same a week after than they did the day you got them.
Yeah, but they're frozen.
Just gotta put them back in the deep fryer.
Yeah. All right,
God.
Dave, do you want to give us your number one?
Pissed off with trying to take my hosting duties.
Oh, come on, dude. We're gonna talk about chicken tenders for another week.
Dave, what's your number one? Well, thank you very much, Mr.
Oh,
Host.
fuck
My
you.
number one is... my number one is very sadly underrated and underwatched. Giant Robo the animation, The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Woo.
This is a giant robot. It's not a mecha, it's a giant robot show because there's no pilot inside of the robot. Giant robot show from the 90s. It was made from 1992 to 1998, but total production was about 10 years. By Yasuhiro Imagawa, the guy who did G Gundam, the Shin Mazinger, and something else. Tetsuin 28 reboot in 2004. He's an amazing visual director, and I really like him as a director as a whole, but sadly, because he mostly does robot shows, and he's cool, he's not really allowed to make stuff anymore. Yeah, because we have cute girls doing cute things. So it's based...
Is he banned?
No, dude,
I
they'll
don't know, but
remake.
he's not done anything.
They'll remake
It's not
Giant
done anything
Robo,
major.
except with cute girls.
It does have cute girls.
I mean,
Or
it
one of them.
does. Ginrei's pretty cute.
Or one of them. I mean,
I mean, that has one thing I like.
actually, does it have more than one girl? trying to think now.
The blue girl.
The blue girl?
Yeah, she's in like
Fucking-
episode 4, I think.
Oh, yeah. If you say girl, she's kind of like a massive demon woman.
Yeah,
so
I mean, but she's hot, dude. She's thick.
she is hot. Oh, and then there's the little girl who have you met the little girl with big fire?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's off topic. So basically, it's based on this original manga. It's a weird history. It's based on this manga by Mitsuto Yokoyama, who's a really actually quite important writer, manga writer, novel translator person. He did the original text in 28. He also did translations of Suikoden and Romance of the Three Kingdoms. So it's based on his giant robot manga, but they didn't have the rights to any of the characters for reasons I can't fathom. Apart from like the main characters. So Imagawa went to Mitsuteru and said, "Yo, dude, what am I supposed to do here?" And Mitsuteru was like, "Make it its own thing. I mean, the manga's the manga, the anime's the anime. Do you like? And you can use any of my characters from any other work I've ever done." So they did. So the story is entirely anime original, and it uses characters from his entire library. So you have these like 60s people in suits next to ancient Chinese warriors, next to Japanese warriors, next to all of this, all mixed up. It's actually quite impressive they managed to make it all look good together. The basic setup...
Sounds like Fate.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
except Fate shit. Fate shit.
Definitely not like at all.
No. The closest thing it's probably to is maybe Fullmetal Alchemist, in that it's kind of that sweeping epic adventure, except Giant Robo is very much a melodrama,
Yeah.
which FMA just isn't. The story's really hard to explain.
Yeah.
Basically, in this like kind of retro 60s world with samurai and ancient Chinese warriors, all power is from this thing called the Shizuma Drive. But this kind of terrorist group called Big Fire, with its group of top 10 people who are all super powerful, called the Magnificent 10. These guys are badass. They can pretty much take out anything by themselves. The only thing stopping them actually winning is they're all fighting amongst themselves half the time. So they get a guy in to help them destroy the Shizuma Drives, because if you destroy the Shizuma Drives, then the world's fucked and Big Fire can take over. Or are they? That's the big question.
Bum, bum, bum.
But they are. But stopping them is the Experts of Justice, which are also Kung Fu people. And they have a guy called Daisaku, who's like a 12-year-old boy. And he is the controller of the titular giant robo, which was made by his dad and gifted to him. And thankfully, his young age is actually addressed at point.
Yes, I really like that.
How can we let this child actually fight?
Yeah.
And it's nice, because a lot of robot shows do that in a lot of time. Well, the good ones do.
Yeah.
Like Gundam does. But a lot of them don't. I don't know, Zero.
Yeah, some of them just don't bother.
Yeah. But it's very much addressed, and I like that. So you've got this big sweeping epic adventure. And it's great. I love it. So the art style is really cool. You've got kind of this 60s retro future, kind of the overall look. But then you have all of these people from all his other works put in, and it works together really well, because Imagawa is a visual genius. It shouldn't work together, but it really does.
Yeah. It definitely looks like it looks coherent, but it is very much like, just from watching it, you can tell like all these people shouldn't belong together.
Yeah, they shouldn't be together. They're called together from something else.
But
yeah, when you've got like a ghost samurai fighting a guy in a suit, it's like, what's going on here, boys? In an airship.
yeah.
You're thinking, yeah, boys, this has made something else. The animation's amazing. Like,
Incredible.
again, this was made over 10 years, and there's so much of it is on one. There's only 7 episodes, around 40 minutes each, and just so much of it is animated on one. It's incredible. I think it's probably the best looking anime series ever, by a long way. I don't think anything's ever going to come close to it, especially now that OAVs aren't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless Netflix goes and just says, spend a year doing this 20-minute
Spend
thing.
a year doing a thing.
Even then, that's against 10 years doing a
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
It's ridiculous. The OST is amazing, because it was recorded by the Warsaw Philharmonic, who do actually quite a lot of anime work. A lot of I think they did Escaflowne as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they used to. Anime work, I don't know whether they do it anymore. But it has a lot of different types of tracks. all of it's melodramatic though. It's nice because a lot of deep themes. Inheritance of the fathers and Can Happiness Be Achieved Without Sacrifice are the two big ones, and it plays off them very well, along with a lot of the visual stuff, because it's Imagawa uses blacks and whites in this really well. Just watching it's a treat of how the direction's done, because he does it so well. Yeah, Jack Rabbit's great. It's really hard to talk about because so much of it's spoilers.
It is, yeah, definitely.
Like, if you say anything after the first episode, it spoilers in so much. So it's actually very difficult to talk about.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of, although it is a mecha show, well, not a mecha show, though it's a giant robot show, there aren't that many giant robot fights. There's like 3 or 4 in the whole series.
Yeah.
And most of it's super powered kung fu, basically.
Oh, yeah, I was surprised at how much of it was just really cool dudes fighting each other, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think. I have to watch the last episode of this later today.
Yes, you do. The twist in the last episode. Oh my god.
I'm excited.
You'll go, oh my god. Oh my god. It's so good.
But yeah, I can only think of maybe 1 or 2 mecha fights, like actual robot v robot fights.
Yeah, there's one in the first episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's
right.
one when they're trying to catch the giant sphere.
Yeah.
With an eye in it, and that's what's destroyed Shizuma Drive. There's one when that's in a town and they're trying to capture it, and then there's one towards in the final episode, I think. Well, he fights the giant sphere, and that's kind of a mecha fight-ish.
Right.
There's a fantastic action in the final episode, which is just like one long running scene. It's amazing.
I'm very excited.
Go watch it.
Yeah, this show's good. You all should go watch it.
But it only has 2 mecha fights, or 2 giant robot fights.
Well then,
they're not mechas. Get over it.
Even people who hate mecha can watch it then.
Yeah, everyone hates mecha apparently, so you
No,
have to
but
watch
mecha
it.
is amazing.
I think so, but everyone else doesn't seem to agree. Sadly,
if you're not sold immediately,
I just don't understand
if
it.
you're not sold on this show immediately, episodes 3 and 4 should convince you. At least that's where I figured out that this is going to be a really great show.
Episode 4 is kind of. Wait, is episode 4 the one with the airship, the fight on the airship?
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of like the
yes.
Damn. Actually, no, the end of episode 3.
Well, yes, the end of episode 3 ends with Robo punching the sphere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then yeah.
Does when's the death? The death.
That's
episode 4 and
that's
episode
4.
3.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, no, 4 is the one to. If you don't like it by 4, then you're mentally wrong.
But don't you know the rule?
Taste.
It's 40 minutes long.
Don't you know don't you know the drop after 3 episodes rule?
Yeah, that really works for shows like Legend of Galactic Heroes.
I drop after 5 minutes sometimes.
I did that this season with the Ottomans one.
Eugh.
The Hot Ottomans.
Seasonals. Ooh.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Elitist.
Yeah, dude, look at me. Watching obscure giant robot shows and
There are a couple good shows this season.
yeah, I've heard
I think I'm only watching Made in the Abyss. It's the only
I've
new one
heard
I'm
some
watching.
buzz about some things.
Cough. We should finish talking about our favorites first. Cough.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this show's really hard to talk about, and I'm explaining it really badly, but it's great.
Yeah.
You should go watch it.
Go watch it. Sounds like a cop out, but
yeah,
you'll understand it when you go watch it.
Now, sadly, there isn't a Blu-ray in the West.
No.
There was Blu-ray in Japan, and people have fan subbed it, so watch that one. Don't watch the dub, because there's 2 dubs. The one they made at the time, and it changes voice actors like every episode, because there was about 2 years between each episode, obviously. And then the other one isn't camp enough to really capture it, and it's kind of flat, because the voice acting is a bit camp, and it works really well with melodrama. Yeah, I think it's probably the best anime outside of Legend of Galactic Heroes as a series. Maybe Gundam 0080. I think that's up there vying there. But it's genuinely great, and it's a shame no one watches it. But I mean, it's a show that has Robo in the name. It's a giant robot show, and it's from the 90s.
Yeah, so everybody's hitting the bail button as soon as they're done with reading the name.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a shame.
Well, they got shit taste.
They do. Wow. Yeah, everyone has shit taste but me.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Does that
wrap up our favorites?
Yay!
Yeah, that's our favourites all done. And we will return in 2 weeks, hopefully,
Hopefully.
and give you another podcast on some topic that
It'll
we
be
still
on
need to
something,
come up with.
that's for sure.
So yes, that about wraps up for all of us here at the Chinese Cartoon Podcast. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another topic. As we said, we don't really know what it is right now, but we will find out soon. So goodbye from us, and we hope to see you soon. Bye. The intro and outro music was provided by our very own Ringo at the website ringo-scar.bandcamp.com, and the background music was Straight from bensonsound.com. There are links in the description below.